Hello, everyone, and welcome to, welcome to the stream. I know it's been quite a while since we've done one of these, but we are back for the first time in a while. You're joined tonight by Bob from BK Photo Page, Ken from, just Ken, and Darius will be joining us soon. So, guys, how have you been since the last stream?
I haven't been on one of these in like 6 months. So.
Exactly. It's been a long time. But we do have a list of banner topics that we're going to do prior to starting the Q&A. So if you guys haven't been on one of these before, essentially the way it works is first we have our pre-listed topics that we're going to go through before we get to the Q&A. We're going to go through all of those. Then we jump into the Q&A itself. And of course, if you do send a super chat, that gets prioritized and jumps you to the front of the queue. But first and foremost, I do want to talk about the Discord server. I know I've been nailing this home for a while now, but we do have the Unload Station Discord server. If you guys have not joined it yet, highly recommend doing so. It's very active, and there's a lot of great people in there. So be sure to join that. There's also going to be a Planet Coaster competition coming up very soon on there, so you're definitely going to want to check that out if you are interested in Planet Coaster. Also, I apologize for the kind of weird view. I got a new computer since the last stream and reoriented all my monitors, so I have to remember that the camera is up here and not over here this time. It's messing with me a little bit. But let's start off with some Coaster World news. I know there's been a few happenings ever since the last stream. One of the big ones, of course, was Six Flags America closing. We were there, at least Ken and I were there on closing day, and it was interesting, to say the least. And since closing day, not much has really happened with the property from what I understand. It's been a lot of just kind of people breaking in, which is not surprising, and climbing the rides and stuff like that. But otherwise, we haven't seen much movement. We did see that the trains from Mind Eraser or Screamore, whatever they wound up calling it, went to Canada's Wonderland for Flight Deck, which is a really good thing because that ride is pretty rough. I think it tracks fine. It was really just the trains, so I think it actually might be a good ride now that it has those trains. Other than that, you guys have anything you can think of in terms of happenings since then?
Well, that closing day at Six Flags America was amazing. I mean, that's the crowdest I've ever seen that park.
Yeah, every time I've been there, it's been dead.
And there's some few interesting happenings during the day, such as the climb up the lift hill.
Yeah, that was something. Definitely not something I was expecting to see. And it was funny because we just happened to be there, right place, right time. I guess depending on what you consider the right place, the right time. And I look up. I'm like, that doesn't look like a maintenance employee. I don't think.
I thought I was going to get my credit. I'm like, oh, here it comes.
That was hilarious. Bob, you've been to Six Flags America before, right?
Yep. What
was your experience with the park?
So the first time was 2018. It was just a random weekday, and there was literally nobody there. We were in the back of the park pretty much by ourselves. It was. I enjoyed the park though. It reminded me a lot of like growing up at Jogga Lake, and you don't have these great, super crazy rides and coasters and things, but you have a lot of just stuff to do, kind of. And then I went back before I met you guys for that. No, it wasn't the Jersey trip, but it was that next year when I came up the coast and went to all those parks. And that was just because I didn't have the Batwing credit, and I went in and waited like 3 hours for it to open and got the credit, and then basically left. Yeah, I mean, it's sad when anything like that closes, and it's sad that probably most of the majority of the rides, other than the couple that they put up for sale, are going to be gone too.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what happens with a couple rides in particular, like Raging Cajun, Harley Quinn, and the Nebulas, because they were listed on that amusement-rides.com website where they sell used rides. And literally right after I released a video about them being on the website, they were taken down, all three of them. So I don't know if that means either someone bought them or they were testing the waters to see what people would be willing to pay for them. I was assuming they'd be.
The Nebulas were new, weren't they?
Nebula was brand new. It opened.
You'd think they would just move those to one of their other parks. That's weird.
It could be that the financial side of it could be that it was cheaper for them to sell it off as opposed to relocating it. But I don't know. I'm not a business major. Another interesting bit of news is that we have a new Six Flags CEO since the last stream. John Riley is officially, yes, I really hope he embraces the Mr. Six identity because he looks so much like him. And it'd be so funny if they did like a whole big marketing campaign around that. But yeah, Mr. Riley has replaced Zimmerman now. As far as I know, not too much has changed so far inside the company. I'd imagine he's still getting acclimated because he entered the company at, we'll call it a turbulent time, that's for sure. And I'm just seeing that we have a super chat, so let me jump to that. Thank you, Christian, for the super chat. I was able to take my grandma to Epic Universe on November 29th this year for her first time, and she loved it. She loved Battle of the Ministry, and also kind of like Stardust, she loved Super Nintendo World. That is awesome. Especially if she's a Harry Potter fan, I could imagine that Battle of the Ministry was probably mind-blowing.
I'm so looking forward to that.
Oh, you're going to go, knowing how much you like a Harry Potter universe, you're going to go nuts for that ride. But I'm very happy to hear that, Christian. I hope you're doing well. Back to the Coaster World news. Yeah, I really do hope the best for John and his leadership at Six Flags, because I think they really do need a strong, kind of determined leader to guide them through a very difficult time financially, and just in general, the vision of the company is a little all over the place. So I hope things do go well there. But in other Six Flags news, we do have another bit of interesting news, specifically from Great Adventure. Now, I'm not going to show the screenshots because I don't have them formatted properly for the stream. But if you guys remember last year when we first started seeing the demo permits pop up for Ka, Lantern, all the other rides, they were from this website. And this website is now posting a couple new interesting things for next year. Thankfully, it's not more demolition. It is new construction. And there are a couple of new things coming to a few rides of the park. I believe the rides are El Toro, Nitro, Jersey Devil, Flash, and Joker. All of those rides are going to get those fast lane kiosks that they have at Cedar Point, Kings Island, a few of the other bigger Cedar Fair parks. Looks like those are coming to those rides, which leads me to believe that they're probably going to be selling single-use skips for those come next year, because obviously they are switching over to the fast lane method as opposed to Flash Pass. So that is going to be pretty cool. And I just got another super chat. Let me jump over to that.
This is the same person that said Ken is smug looking at the beginning.
Ken's favorite and least favorite Disney parks attractions. So I guess base this, off of our most recent visit. What was your favorite and least favorite ride you rode?
At Disney?
Mm-hmm.
Favorite, you know what that was.
Guardians.
Guardians.
Yeah, Guardians is incredible.
Least favorite. That I rode during the trip.
Well, I guess just in general, because we didn't
Just
really
in
ride
general,
any bad
honestly.
rides.
No, I was gonna say we only hit new stuff that I hadn't done.
Even the shitty rides have charm to them of some sort. Like, even the worst rides have some kind of thing you can take from them.
That's true. Even like talking on the Universal side, even E.T. I find charming, even though it's not a very good ride.
Well, even like, okay, so Fast and Furious is awful, but you can laugh at it, so you get
Right.
something out of it.
Because
You
it
know what I
makes
mean?
absolutely no sense, but it is at least
Right.
entertaining.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. That's kind of how Disney is. Like, most of the stuff, even if it's boring, there's still something there.
I think for me, and this is going to anger a lot of people, I don't like the Jungle Cruise. I never did. I think it's very boring.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the old Epcot rides, which I'm going to get a lot of hate for, like Living with the Land and stuff like that, I just don't find much interest in them. I know they have value to a lot of people, but I never found any interest in them personally. Ken, did you figure out which one might be your least favorite?
I don't like going backwards, so Everest is not high.
Everest? Wow, okay.
I hate Kali River Rapids because it's the most like disappointing thing ever. Like, nothing
It
happens
is,
and you don't
yeah.
get wet at all.
I only think I ever rode it once back in 2016, and it was at night. And that was the only reason I actually liked it, was because at night it looks phenomenal.
With the flames and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, the flames and the lighting and the fog, it was really, really well done. But during the day, that ride probably isn't very good.
And dinosaurs up there, you know that.
As a favorite, though, definitely as a favorite. Dinosaur is going to be dearly missed, that's for sure. But back to the news front, I do have one other thing, which is actually back down in Florida.
Whoa, wait. Back to what you were saying before. Did they say anything about adding lockers to Jersey Devil or any of the other rides?
Not yet, as far as I know, which I think that should be priority number one, especially for Jersey Devil. I only rode Jersey Devil like 8 times this year, and that is because of the lockers. It's not because I don't want to pay for them. It's because it's such a hassle to go all the way up there. Yeah, they're so far away, and then you got to put all your stuff away, go up. Maybe the line's then long. You're like, oh, now I already paid for the locker. I guess I got to wait for the ride. It's not a good setup. I think Devil desperately needs those double-sided lockers. Because Flash and Toro, it's a breeze. You just walk right through. But the Joker too needs the lockers. It's a little ridiculous at this point. But with Universal, they have implemented something new over at Velocicoaster, and that is that the single rider line has seemingly been permanently disabled. They have covered up the sign, and cast members were telling guests that they are no longer operating the single rider line on Velocicoaster. Now, I think this kind of makes sense because typically with that ride, since it's only 2 across, it's very rare that the single rider line will really need to be utilized, because typically they'll find odd numbered groups and they can kind of merge them together. I wouldn't actually be surprised if what they do after the split, after the lockers, because there are those 2 separate queues, if they use one side for evens and one side for odds, because if you've been to Epic, they do that at Hiccups and a couple other rides where they split you in odds and evens. That way the groupers can fly through and never miss a seat. That would not surprise me at all, because every time I've seen Velocicoaster's single rider line, it typically is not being used the most efficiently. So I'm not really surprised it's gone. But I do think it's an interesting move, especially since they do have Express on that ride. And the line can get fairly long on busy days, that's for sure. But other than that, is there anything you guys can think of in terms of big news that's happened in the amusement sphere?
It's been pretty quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good summary there.
That time of year.
But something that has not been very quiet is Six Flags Qiddiya. So as you guys know, it is opening very soon on December 31st, and they're ramping up, getting ready for operation. I want to hear from you two. How do you think it's going to go early on? Do you think stuff's going to be operating properly? What do you think the reviews are going to be? What are your expectations for the park, even if you're not planning on going?
Any park when it first opened is not 100%. So if you're going early, expect there to be issues.
It doesn't matter how much money you spend either, and they've spent $1 bazillion. I mean, you're still going to have all the same issues any other park does, and depending on like who you're bringing in to staff this place too, because are you bringing in experienced people from somewhere else, or are you just hiring locals that have to all be trained the same way anywhere else is trained and things like that? So, you know, that's another thing. The other thing that I was thinking about too is like the idea of, are you going to be able to run this park during their summer, like with how hot it's going to be in, 130 degrees in the desert or whatever? Like, is anything going to be able to run? Are you going to be able to actually ride anything if it's that hot, kind of thing too?
I think it'll be a nighttime park.
Yeah, that's why their hours right now, at least for like the first however many months, it's 4 p.m. to midnight. And I wouldn't be surprised if they stay like that all the time and just primarily operate as a nighttime park, just because the heat out there is ridiculous.
Right.
So that wouldn't surprise me at all.
I think that's how they deal with it out there. I think nighttime is the main activity time.
I think you're right. And Bob, to your point about training people, I believe they are bringing in a large number of people from Six Flags over here from a variety of the parks, and they're sending them over there to train in food and rides and all of the different departments. I know a few people from Fiesta, Great Adventure, a few other parks have gone over there, and they'll be there for a few weeks to kind of help them get used to the way Six Flags over here operates, because they are using IROC just like the Cedar Fair and Six Flags parks here. I know, I'm not happy about it either. But I guess IROC is better than nothing, than, just kind of figuring out willy-nilly. So there's that. So I am very curious to see what the early reviews are. And, hopefully I'll get there sooner than later. We'll see what happens. But it is a very exciting time to see such a massive park along with, the coasters they have opening. It's crazy.
Ground up parks don't happen anymore, hardly ever.
Yeah.
So it's wild.
And to think that, 6 years ago when we saw the animation for Falcon's Flight, we're like, this is never going to happen.
I thought it was a joke.
Yeah, I did too. Yet here we are now, and it's actually real.
It still doesn't look real. I watched the video and I'm like,
no, it doesn't sound real. The sound of those LSMs is insane. And it looks like we just got another super chat. Thank you, Colin. Nice name for the super chat. Cedar Point local. I get Siren's Curse was meant to make up for Top Thrill opening late, but when do we get the coaster that makes up for Siren's Curse not being 200 feet? An extreme spinner will do. I think I speak for everyone that has a home park in the Six Flags chain that isn't Cedar Point when I say that they need to stop throwing money at Cedar Point and spread the wealth a little bit. Hey, I know that Cedar Point does insanely well. They had a record-breaking summer this summer, but that's also because they just threw tens of millions of dollars at the park with all these additions. They need to spread the wealth a little bit more. Believe me, I think Cedar Point is probably the best Six Flags park. They're incredible, but I think there's some other parks like Great Adventure that could definitely use some help before Cedar Point gets another massive record-breaking coaster.
Nah, give us something. We're due.
What about Kings Island?
And Siren's
Oh
Curse.
yeah, how about we build something on the Vortex plot?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Siren's Curse is fine not being 200 feet. Except one
Siren's Curse is probably better not being 200 feet, just because it's able to stay very whippy and fast-paced the way it's designed. I love that.
And the way it's positioned right over where people walk. I think that's...
Oh, it's the placement is excellent, especially considering that coaster was never supposed to be put there. The way they made it work blows my mind, truly. But back to Six Flags Qiddiya, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that, you know, the country it's in is obviously controversial, and, you know, it's definitely worth noting that. As people that are from, you know, the United States and America, it is definitely a risk to travel over there because obviously there's, I don't think I need to get too far into it here. I think you know if you know.
Do
But
women have to cover themselves like tourist women?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Like
I've seen a video from an influencer over in Europe, and
Mhm.
she was there, and she was, you know, dressed as if she was, you know, in Europe. So I don't think so, but
I know they're. I mean,
know
they're
for
obviously
sure.
trying to massively modernize their country, and especially with all the tourism stuff. So I didn't think so either, but I just wasn't sure.
Right, and I think this park, more than anything, really is kind of designed to attract as many tourists as possible.
That's
And
exactly it. Yeah.
you know, at the end of the day, the way I look at it, if you're going there to spend money, they're going to let you come and spend your money. I don't think they're really going to harass you about that, but obviously there are still precautions to be taken if you do plan on traveling over there, which is something very important to note. But moving on from Qiddiya, we have the holiday events, or lack thereof, really, this year. There were not many this year. I believe there was at least 4 or 5 cut from the Six Flags chain. I know Great Adventures obviously is gone. Over Georgia cut theirs. Six Flags New England cut theirs. And I believe there were a couple on the Cedar Fair side that also got cut. So other than the ones that got cut, Bob, I know you went to Kings Island, right?
Yeah.
How was Kings Island's Winterfest this year?
It was it's cool. I mean, it is what it is, but it was weird. It seems like they put up tons more lights this year than they have in the past, so it's really, really bright and cool looking. I'll never understand how Mystic Timbers runs like way faster when it's 20 degrees outside than the middle of the summer. But yeah, you know, Mystic Timbers road racer a little bit, walked around. It's one of those like 2-3 hours and you're out kind of things, but it's still fun to see once or twice. So it is what it is.
It's funny. I just realized as I'm, you know, sitting here listening to you talk about Winterfest that I haven't actually gone to a holiday event this year yet for a park. We were just at the Lincoln Mill Haunted House, which did a Christmas overlay yesterday. But in terms of parks, I have not gone to a holiday park yet. I'm hoping
really
to get
wanted.
to Hershey.
I've always wanted them to change the animation in the shed to something like a deranged Santa Claus or something for
that'd be
Winterfest,
sick.
but they never do anything. They don't change anything.
That
Well,
would
the
be
weather hasn't been cooperating for Hershey. It's been too cold to run the big coasters.
exactly. It's been very, very cold out here. I mean, we just got hit by a giant
And it's not
snowstorm.
getting any warmer either. It doesn't seem like.
And it's kind of funny because we were talking about this amongst ourselves. And as much as we're all really angry that Great Adventure canceled Holiday in the Park this year,
Smart move.
it probably was a smart move because they'd be closing constantly and not be able to run anything because it's just been so cold. A colder winter than we've had in recent years, that's for sure.
I think they got 6 or 7 inches of snow out there today.
Yeah, today, well, of course you said that. Just wait till you see the chat after that one. I believe, I believe we got around 7 or 8 inches. I will not say the other number. Yep, there they all go. Oh, no. Well, at least I won't have to get a question for me to say it.
You're not a damn teacher. I don't want to hear it. This is my life.
I'm sure. But like I said, I am hoping to get out to Hershey for Christmas Candy Lane this year at some point. I know I don't have much time left, but I am trying to make it happen. We'll see, because I know their event is always really well done. They run Wildcat, Candemonium, as long as the weather is conducive. But hopefully next year we'll have more holiday events to talk about than we did this year. And that kind of segues nicely.
Still there?
Who?
Shackalicious.
Shackalicious is still there. It's the holiday overlay now.
I did not get to see him.
No, I didn't either. I'll definitely have to go back. But since this is probably going to wind up being the last stream of 2025, I don't want to say for sure yet, but it probably will be. I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to kind of look back at your 2025 and, share your favorite parks you went to, favorite coasters you rode, any big milestones you had, all of that fun stuff. I'll start with Bob. Bob, what interesting things did you do this year?
Well, the stuff I had planned I had to cancel, but I went to rodeo, which I'm going to go back again next year. I love that event. It's so well done. And then I'll parlay that into going down over Texas, whether or not Tremendo's open. I mean, I haven't been there in years, so I'll still get to go to the park and stuff. I did not travel that much this year. I didn't even make it to Cedar Point that much this year.
You rode Iron Menace, right?
I did. I finally got to ride Iron Menace, and I've never been on a coaster where the seat makes such a difference. It's like the front was super smooth, and the back was one of the worst rides I think I've ever been on. I literally thought I broke my back after I got off of it. It was so bad. And then went to Knoebels for Fall Fun Fest, which is always a fun event. We had our event at Holiday World for the Coaster Club, which went unbelievably well.
Yes, by the way, you guys don't know, Bob is the president of the Great Ohio Coaster Club, GOCC. So if you're looking for a good coaster club, especially if you're in the Ohio area, GOCC is definitely the one to go to. And how much are memberships now? I forget.
Singles 20, couples 25, family is 30 or 35. I think it's 30.
That's probably the best deal you're going to get out of any of the Coaster Club memberships. So definitely consider checking out GOCC.
Yeah, we're going. Our events are at Knoebels opening weekend next year. We'll be going back to Holiday World probably in July. We have the double event at Waldameer and Niagara, and then we might be doing one at Hershey.
Sick. It's a good lineup. Ken, how was your 2025? I know you did a lot of traveling with us, actually.
It was a very busy year.
Yeah.
Lots of coasters open this year.
Lots of sitting around for 4 hours while Alpine Fury didn't open.
That was still a good ride.
I almost,
we never mentioned I almost ran Ken over with my car at the airport picking you guys up. So
I do remember that. Oh, hang on a sec. We do have a super chat. Thank you, John, so much for the super chat. Hey, Colin, Bob, and Ken, I hope all is well with everyone. So with Hershend buying Silverwood, could you see another park being bought by them, and also could see the possibility of them buying Knoebels or even Holiday World?
Yeah.
I don't see either of those two parks being sold because they're both family parks that don't seem like they have any chance of being sold. But I could see Hershend definitely keeping expanding, especially if there's any parks that are either in financial trouble or just kind of stagnant, not doing anything, stuff like that. But if you notice the type of parks they're buying, they're all already kind of like well-themed, old-fashioned parks and stuff. So that's also something to keep in mind.
I do think, though, John, to your point about Knoebels or Holiday World, if they ever were to come into a situation where they did feel they need to sell, Hershend would definitely be the one I could see buying them. And that was kind of the argument that Silverwood used too, because Silverwood was also a family-run park. And they kind of got to the point where they needed to find a way out, essentially. And Hershend offered the best solution because Hershend is a very proven track
When we did our event this year at Kennywood, Ricky Spacuzza, the GM at Kennywood, said that he's been at the park forever, but he said that after when Kennywood sold the Palace, he said that Hershend basically called them and said, "What are you guys doing? Like, we would have outbid them to buy you." Like, and that was 15 years ago, 10 years ago, whenever it was. And I thought that was really interesting that they were already interested that much back then.
Which is way before any of their big expansion. I mean, it was literally just Dollywood, Silver Dollar City, and Wild Adventures for such a long time in terms of amusement parks. And then now all of a sudden, tons and tons of stuff.
I guess it helps if you have wood in your name too.
It's true. Well, whenever Collywood opens, I guess we're going to be owned by Hershend too. That's the last wood park they need at this point. Or Hollywood Studios. Oh, we have another super chat. Thank you, Colin, once again. Great Adventure and Cedar Point fought hard in the Coaster Wars, but you know what they say, the winner takes it all and the loser has to fall. Rip King. Wow, that was a good rhyme there. Let's be real, though. Great Adventure never would have lost if they weren't owned by Six Flags. Six Flags has kind of been the reason why Great Adventure always seems to fall one way or another, no matter who the CEO is. Because back in what was it, Kieran Burke back then? In the early 2000s, mid-2000s?
The one that bought everything?
Yeah. Well, he ran the company into the ground, and then you had Mark Shapiro, who didn't want to spend any money, And then Jim Reed Anderson, who built the company back up, but kept it kind of, chill. And Great Adventure didn't really get anything. And then after COVID, forget it. So, meanwhile, Cedar Point, every other year practically, man, new coaster, new coaster, new coaster. So it was never a fair fight. But back to 2025, Ken, you were saying.
I forget what I was saying. Let me just say my favorite new ride for this year, the most surprising ride, was Airy Force.
Yeah, I think
Airy
that's
Force really, I did not expect that at all.
Yeah, so I was going to circle around I was already in after the Holiday World event. The weekend after that, I had to be in Tennessee for something, so I was going to circle around down to Silver Dollar City, and then to all these like the little parks like that I hadn't been to, like Alabama Adventure and stuff like that, and then back up through Atlanta to go ride Airy Force and blah blah blah. My dad died though, so I obviously canceled all that, and I'm gonna hopefully be able to do it next summer. Because like I'm always like I want to go to those small parks, but I'm not going out of my way to do it. So if I have to be in the area already or somewhere on a line to do it, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. That sucks. But 2026 is probably going to be a pretty big year overall because while there's not as many big coasters opening, there are a lot of big additions in general. A lot of new dark rides. We got the one at Dollywood, the one at SeaWorld. And, of course, we'll see what happens with Six Flags. That's always entertaining.
Kings Island's bringing Phantom Theater back.
Exactly. Ken, you look like you want to say something.
And my new for 2025 ride is probably Alpenfury.
Over Stardust?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't
gotten on Stardust yet, but Alpenfury, I've never been on something that hits you like that thing does.
Yeah, Alpenfury is insane.
Stardust is great, but I don't get all the
all the hype.
All the hype.
Alpenfury hasn't killed anybody yet either.
This is true. See, for me, Stardust, I love it so much because every airtime hill feels like El Toro. It's just bam, 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 and the dueling plus a night ride. Forget that.
The
night ride's
unbeatable. People on the other train would pay attention to you and like try to reach out.
That is true. See, the best is when you're on one side and you got a couple friends on the other side, which is very hard to make happen. But if you make it happen and you guys are just like staring at each other, screaming and yelling the whole ride, nothing like it. Absolutely nothing like it. And that night ride, like I said, I've never seen a ride that is able to do a night ride as well as that, considering it's not surrounded by trees or anything. The lighting, the atmosphere, unbelievable.
Velocicoaster.
I like Stardust better. I do like Stardust better.
No Raptors.
Sure, but you got the flux capacitor. I will say, though, that overall, Epic Universe definitely defined 2025, at least for me. It actually wound up being one of my most visited parks this year. I went to Epic Universe 4 times this year, which is a little ridiculous. But I was really thankful to be able to experience that park in its opening year so many times and see all the attractions on different days and really enrich myself in that park's experience, because the fact that Universe was able to make that happen really is impressive, especially with how the amusement industry is now. And to your point, Bob, how we never really see ground up parks open anymore. The fact that park did open, now, and as great as it is with the problems it has, it's still really, really impressive.
I went to write an article about all the new stuff, as I told you, for next year. And what I did was I went back to the article I'd written like 4 years ago and just copied the formatting of it so I could just delete the text and add in pictures the same way, because I didn't feel like rewriting the whole thing. And it was funny because I looked at the 2022 one and I was previewing Palindrome. And then I went to write for 2026 and I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'm just going to leave this in here because this is ridiculous.
It did finally start testing.
The Mattel Park that's, been under construction since Vietnam. It's ridiculous.
There's a lot of holdovers for 2026. And it's probably going to keep being like that for every year because there's always these holdovers. At least Circuit Breaker finally opened this year. I didn't know if it was ever going to open, but it did. And of course, I'd be remiss to not mention Teal Team 6. That was probably the biggest thing we did in 2025. And I'm still kind of amazed that it actually happened. So I do want to thank all of you watching, seriously, because if it wasn't for all the support and growth that we've had on this channel, that never, ever would have even been a possibility. And to be able to do that was so, so cool. And everything else we did at Great Adventure this year, all the fun stuff we partnered with the park on and other things, really do thank all of you for that, because if it wasn't for you guys, that never would have happened. So I really do appreciate it. But before we get into the Q&A, I do want to talk about 2026 stuff. Now, this is both new for 2026 coasters, stateside, international, what parks you're planning to go to next year, all that fun stuff. I know, Bob, you kind of got into that a little bit, but what new for 2026 coaster do you think is going to be your most anticipated?
Well, I mean, Hollywood Drift's the most anticipated, but I'm not going to get out there next year. So for me, the one that I'm hoping that is open by then is obviously Tormenta, but we'll see if it suffers from the same fate as the last couple B&Ms. I'm hoping not, but something that large and whatnot, who knows? I think I'm looking forward to the Dollywood thing too, just because it's so kind of mysterious and they're keeping it so under wraps. Obviously, I'm curious to see what Falcon's Flight looks like and the people that do get to ride it and their reactions and whatnot. Because like it's one of those, it's weird because it looks like it, you know, we marvel at the height and the speed and everything like that, but it's like, are you going to get any airtime on these ginormous hills or anything, or is it just going to literally be like, hey, I'm just going fast over this thing, you know, and stuff like that. So I don't know.
I don't think it's going to be that. It's going to be like new gen Millennium Force. That's kind of what I'm expecting from it.
Yeah, I can see
where
that.
it's going to be so drawn out that you're not going to feel too much, but I think it's really just all about that speed. And unlike Millennium Force, it's actually going like ridiculously fast through the majority of the course. So it's going to be something, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Ken,
I don't know. In terms of, I'm
ahead.
sorry. I was saying in terms of trips and things, I haven't really planned much out yet, other than, like I said, going back to rodeo. Kind of playing it by ear because you and I were talking about some stuff already, and I definitely want to get back down to Florida. I haven't been to Florida since 22. No, the year after.
Or the year after, yeah.
Yeah, when you graduated, it was the last time I was down there. It was 22, crazy. Right? Or 23.
I graduated in 24.
Then it was no, it was when Wyatt graduated, so 22. Yeah, it was 22. Wow. Because the year we were there, we had seen the plot of land for we had that condo right across the street from the plot of land where Epic was going to be built on.
Yep,
I remember. But yeah, no, my plan is to get back down there, and then there was a post I saw yesterday about I'm not going to Disney or anything, but there was a post I saw that it's cheaper now to fly to and from Tokyo and go to Tokyo Disneyland and get a hotel than it is to go to Disney in Florida. Just insanity.
That's not surprising, honestly. Seeing the prices there, it's not surprising at all. Ken, what about you? What do you have cooking up for 2026?
I think 2026 I may finally get to Dollywood.
Yeah, there you go.
Dollywood, and then California I have to get out to.
I would say California, the sooner the better, because
yes, I know.
There's going to be stuff closing, I'd imagine. It looks like I got to cut you off because we did get another super chat. Thank you, F7. I knew it was going to come eventually. Mock Tower, Giga or Strata, and what color track? So this is obviously, for those of you unaware, referring to Great Adventure's new coaster that is currently under construction. We have seen that almost, or presumably most of the footers are now completely done for the attraction. Supports are starting to arrive, and they are a dark gray color. And we do not know what the track looks like yet because it hasn't arrived. The leading rumor, of course, is that it's going to be a Mock Tower spinning coaster, which is what I fully believe it will wind up being. Question, Giga or Strata? We won't know until it's announced, quite frankly, but I'm not expecting it to be over 400 feet. I think it'll be close, but I don't think it will actually hit the 400-foot mark. That's my personal guess.
I love how everybody on the internet and comments on your videos and stuff assume you have so much inside information that you're holding back from everybody. It just makes me laugh all the time.
I only know so much. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, and I don't know what color track. Given the color of the supports, there's a lot of different directions they can go. I hope they don't make it red because then it'll look basically exactly like Top Thrill 2, especially if they do red and white. We also don't know if the tower supports is going to be the same color as the rest of the supports because the supports that have arrived so far are very clearly not for the tower. They are too small to be for the tower. They're probably for the stall and the launches. But I do think blue could be cool. My issue with that is that Nitro's new color scheme, whenever that winds up happening, would probably be blue and gray. So making it the same color scheme would be pretty stupid. But given the fact that it's probably going to be a boardwalk theme, they can kind of do anything. I mean, I think it'd be cool if they did green just to pay homage to Ka. I think like a really nice teal, almost like the pipeline color, could work well. I think even like a purple could be cool. There's so many different directions they could go in. I just hope it actually opens in 2026 and not 2027. My hope is that with the new CEO being here, that he might be like, hey, we should really get this project moving because they need this coaster open. Let's go. And if construction progresses as it is now, it probably could be ready in the summer of 2026 if they go full speed ahead, depending on the winter we have, of course, and how quickly shipments get over here. So we're really going to have to play that one by ear, but that's my current guess.
It's going to be mermaid themed.
Mermaid themed.
Mermaid's Curse.
Yeah, it's because they love to reuse names in Six Flags. So just swap out one word. But as for 2026, Ken, were you saying something? I forget.
No, I was Dollywood in California.
Okay. As for me, same thing. Dollywood in California, definitely pretty high on the priority list. Dollywood, especially for Night Flight Expedition, that looks like an incredible looking ride. And knowing how Dollywood and Herschend in general does their attractions, I think that they're going to do a phenomenal job with it. And as for California, Hollywood Drift, of course, looks crazy. I mean, it's literally Guardians made by Intamin and mixed with Velocicoaster. That just sounds unbelievable.
That park needed that because we went there. The park was such crap.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, you weren't with me. Never mind. That was the other time I went. Yeah, it's something. The Harry Potter ride, Journey. That's one of my favorite dark rides. The one there is actually a little bit better than the Florida one because there's like one extra scene and it was a little bit smoother. But like their Mummy ride was their Jurassic Park ride was and then like taking all the stupid escalators and everything else was annoying. Although the Waterworld show is great for the movie, that was like the biggest flop of all time. So
of course. Yeah, that's going to be a very exciting addition. I'm also keeping an eye on Montezuma because when I was there in 2023 with Bob, it was very much so SB&O, and it was supposed to be open with its new refurbishment. And here we are almost 3 years later, and it's still not done. So I'm really hoping that happens.
Are they working on it, huh?
They are. There's track and everything there. The loop, I believe, is back. So hopefully it opens next year. And I got to interrupt myself because we just got 2 super chats. Thank you, H. Georgie, for the super chat. Honest thoughts on Planet Coaster 2 compared to the OG. If you asked me this a year ago when the game first released, I would have not had the greatest things to say because when the game first launched, there were a lot of issues. But I got to give Frontier a lot of credit because considering the game, I mean, it was successful, but not like a huge, massive smash hit. But they're still updating the game constantly with free stuff, DLC. And the fact that they're doing that, despite the fact that the game is not like selling record numbers, I give them a lot of credit for. And I think now it probably is, well, not probably, it definitely is better than the original. I mean, the amount of coasters we have in this game compared to that one that everyone always wanted. I mean, you couldn't build an Intamin Blitz in the old game. You couldn't build a new gen Vekoma at all. Now we have every new gen Vekoma model you could think of except for the flying coaster. You have the Blitz. You have everything, really. They just need more flat rides. I think a better support builder would be great, kind of in the style of No Limits. But other than that, the game it's in a pretty good state now, I would say. I don't know if either of you play Planet Coaster 2, but I would recommend it. It might still be on sale, actually, too. They had a really huge sale going on it.
I bought Planet Coaster last year for $2. And I played it for 5 minutes.
The original one?
Yeah.
The original's good, but playing Planet Co 2 now, I can't go back to the original because they're very different games.
I don't have the patience for it.
That's my problem.
That's fair. That's fair. And then our second super chat. Thank you, John, for the super chat. Hey, Colin, did you hear the rumor that Warner Brothers is in talks to license out DC Comics Universal parks, which means that Six Flags could lose their rights? So, yes, the first half of what you said, I have heard and is incredibly exciting. I've always dreamt of Universal finally getting theme park rights to DC Comics because that would just be incredible. But the second half of what you said would not happen because theme park rights are not exclusive necessarily. I mean, you look at, say, I don't know, Warner Brothers World in Dubai. They have all the Warner Brothers characters there. Same thing with Movie Park in Germany, I believe. They have a lot of Warner Brothers characters, if I'm not mistaken. So they're not necessarily exclusive unless that is what is said in Six Flags' contract, which I don't think it is. So we could definitely see a reality where the DC Comics licensing could exist at both Universal and Six Flags. I'd imagine they would probably want to get it out of Six Flags because they don't want to have that brand dilution. But I think that Universal, especially with the level of quality they're at now, could do so much with DC. I think it would be great to see them replace Marvel Superhero Island with a DC theme, which is how it was originally supposed to be before the licensing agreement fell apart with Warner. So that is something that I'm really, really pumped about, and I hope actually happens. We'll see what happens with Netflix or Paramount buying Warner Brothers, because that could change things, but I hope that does actually happen. Anyways, back to 2026, I was talking about Montezuma, right? Yes. Montezuma, hopefully that opens. And the new Vekoma at Magic Mountain, that looks like an interesting ride. And it's probably in a similar boat to the spinner, or I won't call it that, the new coaster at Great Adventure, because neither one of them have been announced. They were supposed to open, the one at Magic Mountain was actually supposed to open this year and has been delayed until next year. But both were originally supposed to happen next year, and now we don't know.
Why not announce them? That's what I don't understand. Announce them to like build up some excitement about it.
Right. And it's like, even if they don't open until 2027, you should still announce them.
It's
so
like
that
better
people,
knowing than
why go through all this effort
like
to keep
the
it a
same
big
thing they
secret?
did at Qiddiya to the new ride. So
It's true.
Really,
Yeah. The way they've been handling,
it.
like they should have learned from the beginning when they messed up with Cobb with the PR side of things that this was not the way to do it. Secrecy and not being transparent with the public is not the way to do it. And I really don't understand why they haven't announced it. I'm assuming they're waiting until track arrives, then maybe we'll get an announcement. But even then, that doesn't really make sense. So, and that's talking about the Great Adventure one. The Magic Mountain one, half the stuff's already there. Just announce the thing.
Maybe they won't notice that it's not Qiddiya.
Yeah, that's probably what they're hoping. It's stupid. As for other places I'd like to get to, I still have not been to the upper Midwest in the U.S., like the Iowa, Wisconsin, that whole area. I have not been there, so I would definitely like to get there. I got close with Great America when I went over there with Bob for Wrath of Rakshasa, but otherwise I've not gotten past there. So I definitely need to get that area of the country knocked out. And I definitely want to get to Europe. I still have not gone overseas. So Europe is very high on the priority list. I think Germany is probably the country I'm most interested in. They have, in my opinion, the best collection of amusement parks out of all the countries over there. So that is definitely something I want to do next year. That's for sure. But other than that, that's pretty much everything we have to discuss, unless you guys can think of anything else before we get into the Q&A.
No, it's been very quiet, like Ken said.
Which is rare in the amusement industry. It's usually ridiculous. But you're in that winter lull, and we're going to start off.
Even IAPA looked like it was kind of.
IAPA did not really have much happening this year, I'll be honest. And the content was very hard to make there because I just felt like there wasn't much to cover.
They did drop that Raptor coming to Myrtle Beach, though.
And the SNS Gale Force style coaster going right down the street from Icon Park in Orlando to just
at the bar, at the Caribbean bar or whatever.
Yeah, at Mango's, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so weird.
Yeah, I was looking at where that's being put. I'm like, this makes no sense. I guess that's where that polar coaster was supposed to be built.
Yes, that's exactly where the polar coaster was supposed to go. Very interesting. But we're going to start the Q&A off with this right here. Best coaster parks in East America. Cedar Point, Hershey Park. I'd say those are probably the big two. Kings Island, of course.
Depends what we're talking about east. Like, just...
I'd say, like, east of Texas.
Okay, well then, I mean, I would say, like, Busch Gardens, Tampa, even though the operations there are probably the worst in the country outside of, like, Mount Olympus right now. The problem is a lot of parks are so top-heavy, it's ridiculous.
It's true. I do think King's Dominion actually has a very good lineup, all things considered.
I was going to say King's Dominion.
Yeah, they do.
It's like,
but like Carowinds is very top heavy.
Yeah.
Over George is very top heavy.
They're not very well rounded.
Busch Gardens Williamsburg is very well rounded, but they really don't have that. I mean, Pantheon's great, but they don't have that like over the top coaster. But they have such great other stuff in general that it's a very good collection there.
Very true. So we got another super chat. Thank you, F7, for the super chat. Thoughts on the 502-foot tall top?
Who the hell is trusting Zamperla at this point?
Like, it's an interesting concept for sure. Do I think anyone's going to buy it? I wouldn't count on it because, and it's not even just because of Top Rope 2's issues.
I think that was them saying that they can convert.
They can do it.
Yeah, they can convert stuff.
No, they were like flat out advertising that is a.
But that was in their flyer like 2-3 years ago. So
that is true. It made a bigger deal about it this year, though.
And people noticed it.
Yeah. So I don't really see it happening. I think it'd be hilarious if it did. And it's literally just Top Thrill 2, but a little bigger. but I don't see a market for that right now, especially with how expensive everything is.
Doesn't King's Dominion have a ride in Limbo too?
King's Dominion.
Oh, that's Carowinds. Carowinds.
What at Carowinds?
The water ride?
Oh, that's right, they do. Yeah. No one knows what's happening with that. Right next to Fury, where the rapids used to be. There's a bunch of construction done.
They announced it, right?
Yeah, it was in that big press release after COD closed.
Yeah.
Very strange. Just like Kings Island was supposed to get a coaster, but now they're getting Phantom Theater. Let's see. Skip that. Do you have plans to return to Six Flags Great America in Chicago? I would definitely like to. Originally, I was planning to go back there a second time this year and do a trip in that area. But once the Teal Team 6 trip popped up, that kind of slashed that plan because we had to divert our attention to that. But I would like to get there.
Fly to Chicago. I'll pick you up and we'll do the Midwest.
That sounds good to me. Chicago is also very easy to get to.
You have to fly to O'Hare, though, because I don't want to die.
Yeah, no. O'Hare is much... O'Hare to Newark and Newark to O'Hare is very easy. Is that a new computer? Yes, that is a new computer, like I said earlier. Let's see. Do you think Holiday in the Park will ever come back to the East Coast? I hope it does because I know it can be very successful, and I've seen times when it is successful, but it is very weather dependent. And I think that's the biggest problem, especially now with how cold it's been in the East Coast and Northeast specifically. I don't know. But if Kings Island can do the event, if Carowinds can do it, a few other parks in climates where it's a little iffy, I think Great Adventure should do it. There's no reason not to. At an Ace event in Fiesta, Jeffrey said what they're building is the next signature ride. It'll be unique. The plot of land they're using is huge, so I don't know what it can be. There's a few things it can be. For one, the area it's taking up is kind of going behind Hurricane Harbor. They just demoed 2 water slides over there. So the entrance, I'd imagine, will probably be in Crack Axle Canyon, kind of near Roadrunner, and it'll kind of run back there. As for what it could be, it could really be anything. My initial thought when I first saw the plot was something like Big Bear, a Vekoma like family launch coaster. But with him calling it the next signature attraction and that it'll be unique, that does change things a little. For all we know, it could be an Intamin, it could be a Vekoma. The sky's really the limit. And Jeffrey is always cooking good stuff up over there in Texas, so you never know.
When he was sitting with us at breakfast that morning, me and Darius and Zach and Brandon, he was like, he talked to us for like an hour about everything. We were asking all kinds of questions, but I remember I said to him, I was like, hey, what color are the supports on the new coaster? And he stopped for a minute and he goes, hold on. And he called somebody on speakerphone. He's like, hey, what color are the supports on the new coaster? And the guy didn't know, though.
Oh, that's funny. Sounds like Jeffrey. Let's see. What do you guys think it's going to be, though?
I have no idea, but I love that they treat him so well because he's so good at what he does. And just, I love that park. It's one of my favorite parks.
That's a top 3 Six Flags park for sure, in my opinion.
I can't wait to go back.
A Great Adventure.
Yeah, we do. Will we get drone footage of the 2027 ride? In time, yes. Just nothing's happened yet, so I'm not going to go crazy rushing down there yet. Any news on the Mr. Freeze teaser from Six Flags Over Texas? I'm assuming it's just a big refurbishment they're doing to like the queue and the theming, because I saw some theming elements are starting to be enhanced on the Over Texas variant of Mr. Freeze. And I'm hoping they're just planning to keep that ride around as long as possible because that is easily one of the best coasters at that park. Let's see. Did you catch the game today? That's going to be a question for Bob because I don't watch football.
If we're talking about the Browns game, I mean, I'm the most dejected fan ever at this point. And yes, I saw it and I was miserable.
I hope Joker's Jinx can get relocated. It's such a great ride, and it honestly doesn't need that big of a plot of land. The plot of land it would need is it's strange because you have that very narrow bit, and then the giant spaghetti bowl. So there's not many parks that could really accommodate a layout like that, but I do agree that it'd be great to see it relocated. I could also see a reality where they just kind of scrap it and use the parts for Flight of Fear and Poltergeist. That wouldn't surprise me either.
It's old. It's old.
It's very
That's the
old. And you have to wonder if it's really worth relocating a ride that old that's had that much wear and tear on it. And quite frankly, I don't know if it really is. Who's staying safe from the snowstorm here in the East Coast? I think all of us, right? Bob, you got some snow, right?
Yeah, I took cleaned the driveway twice last night and tonight. We didn't get as much as I thought we were going to, but it's still all night forecasted potentially. So
it was funny for us. It showed on my Apple Weather app 0.2 inches of snow, and we got like 6 inches of snow. So it was way off. Let's see. Colin's Great Adventure coaster count has been lacking this year. Well, if you watch the video, you'll know why. The re-ride policy kind of killed my enjoyment this year. What is your favorite ride at Great Adventure, and why is it Sawmill Log Flume? Logan, it is not Sawmill Log Flume, although I do love the Sawmill Log Flume. I hope it reopens relatively soon next year. What's your favorite coaster? You know, after all of my re-rides on everything this year, I don't know for sure. So I'm going to leave that blank for now, because I am also going to be ranking my coasters fairly soon. But Bob, what is your favorite?
Velocicoaster.
And Ken?
Oh, you know I hate this question.
I know you do. It changes every time I ask you.
Well, it's like coasters are all different, so it's like you can like more than one.
It's true.
So if I had to pick one, it's still Fury.
Fury. Okay. There's a few that rotate for me. Do you think Flying Fox will be better than Dragonflyer? I kind of forgot that ride's opening next year.
I don't, and the reason I don't is I talked to James, who's the PR guy at or the communications guy, whatever his position is at Kentucky Kingdom. We were talking about it, and he said, I said something to that effect to him, and he said, "Well, Dragonflyer is a unique layout versus I don't know if they got like a
other way around
model or what. Is that what it is?
Dragonflyer is a clone, and Flying Fox is a original
okay.
layout."
Okay, so maybe it will be then. I don't know. Dragonflyer surprised the crap out of me the first time I rode it, and I was like, wow, this is way more intense than any like family ride should ever be. So I hope it's anything near that. If it's better, great. But if it's even close to that, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, Flying Fox, I don't know if it has like that big first drop the way Dragonflyer does. I know it kind of winds around the footprint a little more, like the path, as opposed to Dragonflyer, which is very much so kind of straight out and back. Stays pretty self-contained. Let's see. A ride similar to Velocicoaster in the Vortex slot. Yeah, yes, I'm all for
please.
That. It seems like they're probably going to go with the Vekoma Ghost Rider. At least judging off the surveys, that might be the direction they're going in, because they still seem to not want to work with Intamin. But after riding Siren's Curse and Flash, I am more than happy with Vekoma style Blitz too. Those are probably going to be nuts. Colin, are you guys planning a trip over to Qiddiya? Eventually, yes. We will make it over there. So keep an eye out for stuff regarding that. Let's see. That's when everyone went crazy over the two numbers that Ken decided to say that I'm not going to say.
I didn't do that on purpose.
I know. That's the problem. They'll catch it. Oh, that's right. Pershend is buying Wild Waves. Oh, wait. Are they? No. That was a different park I'm thinking of. What was the other park that was announced to be closing and just got bought? I don't think it's Wild Waves yet. Now I forget. Never mind. Ignore me. When are you guys going to Dollywood? Hopefully next year.
I usually go on the preview day for media day, but we'll see.
Yeah, it all depends on when the timing is for that. Let's see. For me, the three best coasters of 2025 are Alpine Fury and Both Sides of Stardust. I think it's kind of cheap to say the both Sides of Stardust. I mean, yes, they are two distinct coasters, but I think the three best would be Stardust, Alpine Fury, and Siren for sure. But Stardust, for me, is a league above the two of those, and they're both great, but Stardust.
There was nothing I rode that was new this year that I didn't like. Like, I liked Rapterra. Wrath was fine. It was whatever.
It's a dive coaster.
We had a good time on it. It runs like a wing coaster, but whatever. Yeah, so nothing I rode this year that was new I had a problem with. I thought everything was pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because I'm trying to think what other new coasters I rode besides the Six Flags ones. There weren't everything at Epic. The only coaster at Epic that just kind of annoys me is Curse the Werewolf, because I feel like it never should have been put there. And I know that it was never originally planned for the park, but it still just annoys me the way it sits there, and it's not very well themed. It's a very whatever ride for me.
And those nets around it kind of are annoying.
Oh, the nets look so stupid. Actually, Bob, when are you planning to go to Epic? Do you have plans for that yet?
I'm hoping that I'm thinking about doing it the same time we did our trip down there, like that first week of August or second week of August. That way, they're back in school already and it'll be a little bit, calmer.
Right.
That's my hope, at least. I'll probably do the same thing we did. I'll probably rent a room there for 1 or 2 nights and get the express. And
actually, it doesn't work like that at Epic.
Well, I know Epic doesn't. I would just buy
yeah, the other ones,
if I needed it. Yeah.
What I would recommend, if you can make it happen, is going to Epic after daylight savings time, because that park at night that is the best time to experience the park. And because they're only open till 10 usually, during the summer, you're going to get like a max of an hour, 2 hours at night. Meanwhile, during daylight savings, when we were down there in November, we got like 4 hours, 5 hours at night in the park. It was unbelievable. I know that's not always something that can be made happen, but if you can do it, it's very worth it.
Yeah, unfortunately, being a teacher, I can't really just up and take off. But
that is very true. And you don't live in New Jersey, so you don't get the teachers' convention week off.
And don't be trying to reride a coaster when the park is closing. Go watch the shows around.
No, you got to ride Stardust.
No. That waterfall, the show in front of the hotel was unbelievable. And
they're currently getting ready to add projection mapping to that as well. They were testing it out. So there's going to be like dragons and stuff like projected into the water fountains themselves. It's going to look nuts. So it's only going to get better.
I just want to see how long it takes them to get their next expansion up and going and open to make the park obviously more than a half-day park / packed park all the time.
I'm going to say 2027 or 8 is my guess.
Right. Yeah.
For the Harry, because it looks like the Harry Potter attraction will be the first one to open, because they desperately need a second ride over there. Anyways, what happened to the other King the Ka trains? The green one is, well, at least the lead car of the green one is at Great Adventure. They returned it after Jackson Day. I have no clue what happened to Blueberry or Orange. I'm assuming Blueberry probably got reused for parts for the other hydraulic launch coasters, or just coasters that share parts with those trains. And as for Orange, I have no idea, unfortunately.
Phil bought it and is giving it to you for Christmas.
That would be something. Zaya tuning in from Providence, Rhode Island. Welcome, Zaya. Thanks for tuning in.
It's actually Colin's dead right now. That's why his lights.
Yeah, it's right over there, right next to the Skyrush seat. It's over there. I want to know what happened to the Top Thrill dragster trains. I have no idea.
For a while, we thought they were like sent out to California, but then people spotted them still at the park. So yeah,
they could still be there, for all we know. Next park to see Six Flags sell. People keep saying St. Louis. I don't think so. Worlds of Fun is a contender. Valley Fair is a contender. On the Cedar Fair side. On the Six Flags side, I could see them cutting their agreement with Frontier City or Darien Lake as soon as they can. Otherwise, though, like none of them really jump out to me as like they need to sell it, because for the most part they are fairly sustainable, just at different levels. But they're probably going to cut the ones that are not making money, which people always like. Oh, Michigan's Adventure. Michigan's Adventure makes money.
Michigan Adventure makes a bunch of money. That's why they never got rid of it.
Exactly. So I'm not sure. I do have a video on this, though, about which parks are the winners and losers, so to speak, of Six Flags. Or core or non-core is what we called it. What's rodeo? Rodeo is roller coaster rodeo. It's an event that's held yearly at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas, and probably is one of, if not the best coaster enthusiast event out there. It's 3 days, right? Yeah, 3 days. Friday,
it's
Saturday,
really
Sunday.
2. The Sunday is nothing.
Yeah, Sunday's a half day.
Lift walks and then like water park ERT for an hour is all it is. But the Saturday you literally have 3 hours of full park ERT on Saturday.
At night,
in the evening. And you have an hour or two in the morning, and you have all kinds of events and things going on during the day. The meals are great. The Friday opening stuff was always cool. It's just such a good event. They take care of you so much.
Yeah, it's very, very well done. If you've never been,
and it's
if
not
you've never been to
expensive.
Fiesta,
It's like $100 for the ticket for the weekend.
Yeah, for 3 days. Well, 2 days plus the 1 day where it's water park, ERT, and then you can stay in the park. It's so worth it.
And you get the lanyard gets you exit access for every ride too. So you basically have
you go up the fast
lane all day.
Isn't that a nighttime park too because of the heat?
It's
to a point.
It was hotter when we were there the first year than this year.
Right.
It was still hot this year, but like the year before it was like 120 with the heat index when Colin and I were there. This year it was only about 100.
It can get pretty brutal.
I may have to add that to my list.
Yeah,
it was good though because like having already been there though, like in the middle of the day on Saturday, we just went back to the hotel for like 3 hours and took a nap and cooled down, and then went back once it cooled down a little bit. So once I've been there once already, it's like, all right, this is cool now.
Yeah. And then you can always, like on the Friday, what we usually do, we go in the morning to do our lift walks. Then midday, we'll go over to SeaWorld. And now SeaWorld's getting the new B&M invert too. So you go do that, come back for the nighttime stuff. Saturday, you can spend the whole day if you really want to, or take a break. And then Sunday, you go in for the morning ERT at the water park. And then what we actually did is right after that, when we did rodeo, drove up to over Texas, went in for the night, and then spent the next day there and then left. So there's a lot of different ways you can do it. It's very flexible.
I kind of want to go to Houston and go to Kima and all that too.
We were going to after Teal Team 6.
I was going to
the
this
traffic
year too,
is apparently so bad in Houston.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Yeah, so it's tricky. Which parks in the chain for 2027 do you see getting additions? Well, whichever ones they don't open.
I think we know already what everybody's getting. I mean, you'll see a few surprises here and there of, oh, here's a new restaurant, or
Cedar Point will probably get another new coaster.
Like,
that'll probably happen.
Coming this year, Raging Cajun.
Yeah.
We already have a Wild Mouse.
Right next to the Wild Mouse, yeah. Let's see. What would you do at each United Park? I guess like in terms of additions?
Busch Gardens Tampa needs to get their shit together with operations before they can do anything down there. That park right now is in such shambles that they can't even keep a GM because nobody wants to work for the friggin' management. And every report I see from down there is somebody complaining about how bad the operations are and how
it actually wasn't too bad. Too bad when we were down there during IAPA. They had 2 trains on everything.
Because they knew.
So I think it's
an iffy development. And they also just implemented the lockers on Gwazi that apparently you need to pay for, which is horrifying. No. Exactly. So there's that. But in terms of what each park needs, I think Busch Gardens Williamsburg never should have built Big Bad Wolf. I think they should have built a ground-up RMC hybrid over there and themed it to Drachenfire. That's what they were originally talking about doing. And
I think they still need to build that, whatever they're going to build diving down to the Rhine River, whether it's a Giga or something else, they need to build something that dives down there again, other than Verbolten, obviously. Like, that's what the plan was, that 300-foot coaster or whatever for a few years.
Yeah. BGT, they could probably use a Giga. But they definitely have a lot of other things they need to focus on first. Plus, they still have to replace Stanley Falls and Scorpion, which I'm hoping they do something like a mock rockin' boat, which is what Dollywood is actually getting. I think that would work great there, the outdoor version of it. But we'll see. SeaWorld Orlando, I mean, they have a great coaster collection.
They've been getting taken care of. They need to take Kraken out of there and build something.
Well, they're probably going to wind up putting a big new coaster there once Kraken closes, if I had to guess. But they need more flats.
SeaWorld Orlando is pretty good.
Flat rides. They have barely any flat rides there.
Yeah.
San Antonio, they've been building up like crazy and giving them a lot of stuff over the last couple of years. That park is fantastic. San Diego, I was so disappointed with, but that was because 2 of the rides were closed and there was not a lot to do.
It was also packed.
It's also a beautiful park, though. I'll say that. Park, I mean, all the SeaWorld parks are beautiful, but like that one especially was really beautiful. Yeah, well, luckily we have a friend with diabetes.
That is true. That did come in handy that day. Yeah, Mark saved us there.
Yeah.
What ride manufacturers do you see being the top dogs in the theme park industry in the next 5 years? Vekoma, Mach. Definitely those 2. I think Intamin will always find a way to just keep pushing.
I think B&M will keep selling their stuff, but they need to figure out this roughness thing.
Yeah, B&M, I don't know. What were you gonna say, Ken?
I said Intamin has to, let's say, repair their rides, be more favorable to the ride operators.
I agree. Yeah.
SBF Visa, is on the rise.
They are probably one of the most profitable ones out there, quite frankly. They're selling those spinners left and right. It's unbelievable. I could see Premier doing well too. I'm hoping Alpenfury gave them a good lift. They just need new trains, and they're good to go.
The Alpenfury trains are great.
They're a little better, but they still are not.
I could get my big feet in them.
That is true.
It was better than the Skyrockets.
If I had to pick two, though, it's going to be Mach and Vekoma, especially Vekoma. Vekoma's doing great. Let's see. Favorite and least favorite Goliath coaster? Well, that's very easy. My favorite is the one over Georgia. My least favorite was the one at New England. That one was atrocious.
I agree both. Yep.
Ken, what about you? I'm assuming you have the same favorite.
Yeah.
What about least favorite? Did you ride the one at New England?
Oh, that was horrible.
Yeah, there you go.
Terrible.
That was
even with the new trains.
Yeah.
I mean, the Magic Mountain one doesn't do anything, but it's not rough or anything. It's just boring.
I didn't get to ride it.
Oh yeah, that's
but
right.
I've ridden Titan, so I know what to expect.
It's not. It's much weaker than Titan, but
really,
yeah.
Unfortunate. The new CEO replacing Zimmerman is a former CEO of Palace. Do you think Six Flags will continue to close some parks? Well, he also came from SeaWorld, so that can't really necessarily be a generalization because he's going to have a very different strategy for Six Flags, I'd imagine, because it's a very different company. I wouldn't be surprised if not parks are closed, but removed from the portfolio. That I can see sold off. I don't think they're going to close more because actually it's kind of funny how ironic this winds up being. It looks like the value of the land that Six Flags America sits on isn't as high as they were expecting. Who could have guessed? This is exactly what happened when they closed Astroworld back in the 2000s, when they thought the land was going to be far more valuable than it actually was. And then it wound up actually losing them money because closing the park and doing everything they did cost more than the amount of money that they made from selling the land. I'm not saying that's definitely going to happen here, but that's definitely a possibility. So let's hope they don't do that again.
And they have to let the CEO do his job.
Yeah.
Let him do what he wants to do, fulfill his vision.
I agree. Let's see. What coaster event are you looking forward to in 2026? I've kind of lost track of what coaster events are out there. I'm excited for your Holiday World event, actually, Bob.
Oh, you're going to come to that?
I'm going to try.
Oh, all right, cool.
Beats Hollywood Nights.
It was great. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I said I'm going to rodeo. I haven't been to Coaster Mania in years since it really went down the pooper. Plus, with all the problems they've had and things like that. Plus, now it conflicts with rodeo. I don't go to Hollywood Nights either. I don't care.
Hollywood Nights sold out in 5 seconds.
That's insane.
Well, and people got screwed too again because the thing glitched out again. Go figure.
It used to be so easy to go to that event.
Yep. But I thought about going to Coaster Con, but because I've never been to Great Escape or some of the other New England parks to get to. But I was like, yeah, I can just go to those. I was like, I can call Phil or Colin and just go up to those for like 3 or 4 days and not have to deal with all the other stuff. So
true.
Yeah. So right now, rodeo is the only one I have planned, but sometimes things pop up. Obviously, I have all our Coaster Club events, but sometimes other things pop up too that just random small events. Like I do want to go to Coasting by the Ocean at some point. I know everybody raves about it. There's some ones like that I want to try to get to.
I'm excited for Jersey Coaster Adventure to come back next year. Great Adventure. They had a very good start, and I'd imagine it's only going to get bigger and better because they had a big turnout this year. So I'm hoping to see that grow, especially if maybe the new coaster is open. Would you have liked to see the planned Penguin vs. Batman dueling coaster or Hulk that we have today at Islands? Well, the Penguin vs. Batman coaster that was conceptualized, we don't know what the ride system really would have been. We only know concepts of it. And in reality, knowing how Universal was in 1999, the quality of it probably wouldn't be what the concept art shows it to be. So I wouldn't really be expecting anything that amazing. What is amazing, though, is that Darius is here. Welcome, Darius.
Hello. How is everyone?
You're doing
this
quite
glorious beard. I love it.
He looks like 20 years younger. It's unbelievable.
I appreciate that. That's a very generous compliment.
Very welcome. Well, Darius, you joined us at an interesting time. We're talking about the DC Universal stuff. Because someone is asking if the originally planned Batman versus Penguin coaster would have been better than Hulk at Islands.
Ooh.
It depends on the ride system. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was dueling B&M inverts, maybe, but who knows?
Well, listen, most of you didn't get a chance to ride Dueling Dragons. Oh my god, that was one of the best coasters I've ever been on.
I loved it.
Yeah,
it was so good.
Perfect.
I never rode
Especially when it duels.
Yeah, we just, you know, our propensity to take things on rides ruined it.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. That was a spectacular ride.
I loved the red side better, but they were both amazing.
Yeah. I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm just going to put it out here. It was better than Stardust. I think Stardust, I loved that ride. For me, when it came out, and I'm putting it on that like relative scale, like we like Stardust because of where the industry has gone, but like when it came out, it had more of an impact on me than Stardust at this point in time. I should probably have said it that way.
That is fair.
Yeah.
Let's see. If you were starting an amusement park channel today, what would you focus on first? What type of videos do you think helped get you noticed? Sounds like you're trying to get me to start a new channel. No. It's really tricky now because I feel like the industry or this realm has become so oversaturated with everybody doing the exact same thing. And it probably is one of the hardest times to try to start it because it's tough to figure out what you can do that's different than other people, you know? I mean, there's only so many different types of videos you can make on roller coasters. It's a fairly small niche industry. And sure, it has sub-genres like Disney, Universal, Six Flags, all of that stuff. And you can definitely cater your content to each of those. But to find something that really makes you different from everyone else, that's something that honestly you can only really come up with based on your skill set and figure out what you can do that is different than other people. That's really the best way I could put it to you. Unfortunately, I don't have a definite answer because I'm not in this position, thankfully, for me at least.
Hey, Colin, I think it's a similar conversation that you and I've had kind of back channel, which is, you know, if someone I knew was starting a channel, I would tell them not to start an amusement or roller coaster channel. I would tell them to start something broader with a particular focus that brings you back to it. But like, there's so many aspects of travel and there's so many aspects of the amusement experience that still quite honestly aren't covered, that like starting broader and then dipping into a narrow focus, if there's a passion for say roller coasters or, you know, video games or, you know, the side quests at places like Universal, Epic, like those are things that I think, you know, aren't covered by a lot of people, and so maybe there's some space there.
I tend to not watch channels that are all over the place either. Like if I subscribe to something, it's because, oh, this one's about the history of roller coasters, or this one's about tips for travel, or like that, more so than somebody that's not. I mean, it's okay to be broad, but like at the same time, don't be so broad that every one of your videos is something completely unrelated and different.
Yes,
exactly.
Yep.
I mean, there's a reason why this channel is called Collywood Studios, not Collywood Coasters. It was never meant to just be an amusement park channel. That's just kind of what it led to being now. But it can always change. It can always become something different. And that's why, I think fundamentally from the very beginning, naming your channel something that's locking yourself into only one thing is one of the biggest mistakes you can make. You want to make it so that you can pivot to whatever you feel works best, whatever your audience feels works best. That's really the most important thing.
Hey, Colin, I have a question.
Okay.
How come you haven't posted a poll to find out what your audience's favorite guests are?
That is coming at the end of the year.
We've done these on the live streams before, and it always ends up being Tom wins.
I know.
I'm not even assuming I'm in the top 4.
I would think
I
so.
do want to know who. I want to know.
We will be having a full-blown competition.
Bacon Chris is going to win in a landslide.
I got to figure out who to put in first because there's a lot of guests that kind of circulate in and out. But I will finalize it.
If I were to get a participation trophy, I think I have covered the most distance in terms of places I've joined from.
That is definitely true. That is definitely true.
Where are you right
followed
now?
halfway across the country too.
I am on the west coast of Canada, Whistler, Vancouver.
Ah, snowboarding, huh?
Yeah.
I think in every stream you're in a different place.
I've done.
It's like, where in the world is Carmen?
I've done Belize.
There he is.
I joined from Belize. I joined from Aspen. I joined from Whistler. I don't know. Did I join from Japan?
You might have.
Wasn't he on the beach somewhere too? Like, what
that
was
was Belize. That was Belize.
And Texas.
You were driving a golf cart once too.
I was.
Yep.
I was driving a golf cart. And I think we did. I haven't been able to find it, but I think we were the first to live stream a roller coaster, period. I haven't found anyone else who's done it besides like the news.
Yeah. Darius brought his meta glasses, which were allowed on Circuit Breaker at Codaland, and live streamed. And it worked. Shockingly.
It worked.
It was very
Didn't
cool.
work initially because we tried something that I don't know it was intended to do, but it worked when we did it the way it was intended.
How was that ride?
I like it. I like it. I know the jury's out on whether it's better than Sirens. I don't think it will be as good as Iron Rattler out in Six Flags Qiddiya, just given the sheer magnitude of that ride. But it's exceptional, and this is what I will highlight. The pacing is very similar to Sirens. It doesn't have that kind of weird little turnout at the bottom of the first drop. What I will say is that ride is exceptionally smooth, especially for how long it took them to get that ride operational.
So Vekoma does it again.
Oh yeah. Can't miss with Vekoma, that's for sure. So next question. How would you rank the Walt Disney World and Universal Orlando parks? Comparing them,
going to be Epic, Islands, and then Studios, and then Hollywood Studios, and then from there, I don't know where you're going to go.
I would put Hollywood Studios over Universal Studios. That I would do.
Okay, that's fair.
Yes, especially with
now, especially now. Yeah, I haven't been back there since all the other stuff opened.
I will say though, the Epic and Islands thing is very tough. I can't pick one that's better right now because for me they're equal. Because there's things that Epic does better and there's things that Islands does better. But fundamentally, when you look at ride lineup, they're not that different in terms of quantity and quality of attractions. They're actually very similar. I think Epic may get a slight edge, but even then, like when you go to visit Islands versus go to visit Epic, you're going to have a better experience at Islands because it's been running like a well-oiled machine for 25 years compared to Epic, which is very much still having growing pains because this is its first year. But I do think Epic will wind up being better.
Islands is a finished product that has some room for improvement. Epic is an unfinished product that has some room for improvement.
Yes, exactly.
And both of them are going to get, I think they're going to continue to build out Epic, which is going to get it to where Islands was, say, I'd say pre-Velocicoaster. And I think the plan for both Islands and from what we know, studios, I think Disney's got a lot of pressure. That's what I would say, because what Universal is doing right now, with the exception of Six Flags Qiddiya, no one's like putting the amount of dollars into new parks like those parks have. I mean, they birthed an entire new park.
It's true.
And they're going to probably do something opposite Mythos, where that indoor show used to be, because that's a big plot of land over that they can build on.
The rumor right now is that that's going to become Pokemon over there.
Pokemon? I thought it was Zelda.
Yeah, they swapped it, so it will allegedly become Pokemon over there, which I find interesting.
Where the indoor show was,
where Lost Continent was, all of Lost Continent.
Wow.
So
See,
they're
I
gonna,
thought they were going to put that in Epic. I thought they were going to put Zelda in Epic.
Yeah, that's probably what they're gonna do.
Got it.
Because they'll do
Okay.
Pokemon there, or
Yep.
they'll do Zelda at studios if they have to get rid of Simpsons, for instance, right?
Yeah.
And then keep Epic exclusively Mario Universe stuff. So you'll have like Luigi's Mansion or stuff like that over there. Maybe that's just a thought.
Got it.
There's lots of things
Pokemon
that
are gonna
like, I'm
sell you a
surprised
new
they didn't.
wristband or
Not
something.
necessarily them, but I'm surprised that people didn't jump on. Like nobody ever jumped on like the Game of Thrones bandwagon and started like because somebody could have done an incredible like Universal obviously, but anybody could have done like an incredible job with some of that stuff when it was so hot.
I'd be curious to see if like maybe Stranger Things were to get something because the hype. I mean, it's been going for 9 years, but the hype is still as great as ever.
And all
right
all
now.
they do is haunted houses with it, really.
Yeah, and it's a shame because what you could do with land deemed to like the Upside Down from Stranger Things, oh my god, it would be incredible. But that's Netflix, and Netflix, who knows if they're going to license anything out? They probably won't.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I'm honestly shocked that Hollywood went with the Fast and Furious theming because like it hasn't done great, right? Like the new
I would,
the newest ride that they put in Universal, people hate it based on the like Kong motion system. Like the movies have been like trailing off in terms of the followership. I was shocked that that's what they chose to go with. But like when you look at the IP, they had that, they had Ghostbusters, and they had BTTF, Back to the Future. And I don't know, I'm 47 years old. There's a massive gap on this call. Like, do kids in their 19s and 20s even care about Back to the Future?
Not
Like, do
really.
you care
not
about
really.
Film buffs
Ghostbusters?
do, but
well, wasn't that the rumor that the Rip Ride Rocket replacement was going to be Ghostbusters themed?
it's
Yeah.
between
like-
Ghostbusters
Because
and Fast and
the new
Furious.
movies, like, or I mean, I know that one was really shitty, but the other one was okay. But like, it didn't like reinvigorate the franchise at all, like they expected in any way.
Yeah. That's the problem with a lot of Universal's properties, with the exception of like Wicked and some of the kids ones. They're not really doing that great because the movies are just kind of whatever. That's where Disney will always have the upper hand, is in their IP. And even if some of their more recent movies have not been to that same level of quality, at the end of the day, they have such a large back catalog of IP that they'll always trump Universal in that regard. I mean, Universal, most of their best stuff is all licensed out. Marvel's licensed out. Potter is licensed out. So much of it is not there. Same with Burke. I don't think they own How to Train Your Dragon, right? Unless I'm wrong.
DreamWorks.
It's DreamWorks, yeah.
DreamWorks.
And I don't think Comcast owns DreamWorks, so I think is it Paramount? I'm not sure. But either way, most of their stuff is licensed out. So that's one of the big gaps, I think, between the two.
Yeah.
But back to my ranking. I forgot to finish that. I'd go 1 and 2 Epic Islands, 3 Hollywood Studios, 4. See, Universal Studios is tough for me to rank, especially without what's it called? Without that new coaster open yet, and with no Rip Ride Rocket, because I think a lot of their rides are genuinely great, but the park itself is such a mess. I'll go Epcot, then Studios, then Magic Kingdom, then Animal Kingdom. My biggest problem with Animal Kingdom is there's just like nothing there. Right
That's
now,
massive.
it's Pandora, Everest, the Safari, and Dinosaur. Like that's it. There's
The
barely
park
anything.
is absolutely massive too. It takes
Yeah.
forever to get around it, and it always seems like it's 20 degrees hotter there than anywhere else on property.
Because there's like, especially in that entrance plaza, there's no shade
It's
at
a
all.
jungle, yeah.
Magic Kingdom could be a lot better. It's just I feel like a lot of their rides are duds, and I'd imagine once I get to Disneyland in California, I'll dislike Magic Kingdom that much more because I've heard Disneyland is so much better.
Disneyland's just really charming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, we'll see, but that's probably where I stand. Epcot, I only put where I put it just because the views, the sight lines, like the ambiance is very unbeatable there. Plus, they have Guardians. They have Mission Space is okay. They have Test Track. I still haven't been on Ratatouille, but Ratatouille I've heard is good. They've got good stuff.
So did you hear
And
that?
if you wait one more year, we can all go and do drinking around the world too.
That's true. That's where I want to spend my birthday.
So did you hear that we may have gotten one of the last shows for Aerosmith and Rock and Roll Roller Coaster?
Yes, I
The
did.
pre-show is no longer going.
I know, and the ride itself is closing, I believe, in March, very early
That's what they
March.
said, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good thing we got on it. Let's see. Do you guys know the reasoning they removed Rolling Thunder? It was in bad shape, really bad shape.
I think there's another comment right after that that said that. I think it said that they couldn't even salvage it.
Yeah, it would have cost.
I have some pictures
so
of it with weeds growing out of the track. So
yeah, so they wanted to RMC it, but it was just too expensive to do it.
They would have had.
Having said that, though, we thought that there was no chance that they could RMC Gwazi either because of how damaged that was from the flooding and everything else, and they still managed to do it.
They also like almost rebuilt the entire thing.
Oh yeah, but they still did use some of it.
Yeah. Hey Colin, where can people join the Discord? Oh, I don't have a link
on Discord.
I will send the join link to the Discord server in there right now. If you give me 2 seconds, I'm sorry I don't have it in there. Set this to not expire.
Look at your PC glowing in the background.
I know, it's quite the sight, right? The old one didn't have the glass like this. You would never see it. But this one, you can really see it. Alrighty, I just put the join link in the chat. So if you have not joined the unload station yet, now's a good time.
Darius.
Looks like we did temporarily lose Darius. And he's back. There you are. Let's see. Do you think not enough people are talking about Tormenta because it's a dive? No, I think it's getting pretty fair judgment considering it is a dive.
Once it gets like really, really vertical and stuff, they'll start talking about it a lot more once they see what it like how high it is and everything else.
I mean, the size of it's unbelievable how just huge it is. It's
massive.
Yeah. It looks
I flew over the other day. I think I sent you, Colin, did I send you the picture of the first time I flew over it?
I don't think so, no.
I have a picture of flying over it and that plot of land, and just like when I flew over it the other day, I flew through DFW and I saw it. I was like, wow, this is.
In fact, I just looked at my phone and I see this on my friend Tyler Kinder's story. It looks like this is, I don't know if you can really see it. That's where they're at right now. It's almost at the top.
It's going to drastically change that skyline.
Oh yeah. It's insane how just the sheer size of it is unreal.
Yeah. I am worried that it's a dive though. Like, I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Yukon Striker's great. So if it's anything like Yukon, it will be a great ride.
Yeah.
But the jury's still out on that.
I mean, one of the things we asked Jeff, and I don't know if it was when he was having breakfast with us or if it was when you were with us, but we said to him, like, you know, you're taking over Texas now. Are you going to like, it, you know, this is the original park, but it doesn't feel like the original park. It feels like it's been neglected for so long. Are you going to like dive into that a little bit and really bring that kind of, that, you know, that nostalgia back and things like that? And he said, absolutely. And then he was saying how he was shocked because he went in there like the first week or whatever. And he was like, he was walking around with like a notebook or something. He was writing down everything he wanted to see done. And he went to the one maintenance guy and he said, okay, we need to paint this, this, and this. And the guy looked at him and said, but it's not the off season. And he was like, so what do you mean? Like, and apparently that's how they handled a lot of things there at the time before him.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, they already have, they've added what, Ania and Cinnabon. They've redone
tons of work.
All of the front, like they brought over the Tostitos stuff, that Cheetos popcorn, like they've gone all out. Like all of their food outlets are top notch in the front, and that area towards the back is going to be exceptional where they're putting the new ride in.
It's exciting. Very exciting. How long do you predict it will take to bring Magic Mountain and Great Adventure up to the Legacy Cedar Fair Park standards? Well, it kind of depends on what you consider good or bad about either, because some would argue that there's a lot of things they don't like about the Cedar Fair parks. A lot of people argue that they feel too corporate. They don't have their own personal charm, and they kind of all feel the same. So personally, I would like to see the Legacy 6 parks maintain their identities and not just all start to look the same. But at the same time, you don't want that to be just looking like, well, not good. So there is a fine balance. I think Great Adventure, once they redo the boardwalk for next year and with the new coaster, that will definitely do a lot to help them. And Magic Mountain, I think, like on paper, they actually do look pretty good. There's a lot of areas in that park that I think genuinely look great, and there's other areas that do need improvement, and they'll work through that. But it will take time and money, which is something that the Six Flags chain doesn't really have much of right now to spend. So we're gonna have to wait and see. It's gonna be a bit if they stay with the company like this. It's gonna be a bit.
I think if they do what Jeff does, which is they do everything in house where they can, Jersey's probably a little harder given the union influence. Um, I think Jeff's formula for like, hey, I'm not putting lipstick on a pig. I'm actually like, I'm doing the things that should have been done. I mean, he fixes the roofs on places. He throws a fresh coat of paint. I mean, if you're not painting a coaster, it actually doesn't cost a lot to paint a building, right?
Yeah.
Not the size of these buildings. They're single story, two-story at most, and they're, you know, usually kind of modular kind of shells. Um, and when he does it, when you go to the park, like we were at over Texas, what, how long ago, Colin, together? Like a year
Um,
ago?
Something like that.
And it, let's just be honest, like, I mean, it wasn't great, right? Like,
Yeah, it was looking a little sad.
and if you go there now, it's night and day, and they're not even finished. And it's not like that was like an exceptional amount of money. That was challenging the maintenance people to, hey, we don't have to work on this during, you know, the off season. We can. It's better to close this thing and make it look good than it is to leave it open and have people think it might be falling down, right? So I don't know. There's some stuff that they can do that doesn't cost a ton of money, that they probably need to. I mean, Superman didn't have to go into disarray, like whether it was working or not. Like Superman looked like it was condemned.
Yeah, very
Ninja,
true.
condemned, right?
Hopefully they decide to actually put money where it matters, which Cedar Fair has always been good at. They've been very good at redoing lands. The problem is they would do it so sporadically at different parks because the way they did their investment strategy that a lot of parks would go a long time without getting that investment needed. But I think they know that there are certain parks that need more money than others, and hopefully they recognize that. And Great
Yeah.
Adventure is probably the biggest offender of that in terms of needing more money than others. Let's see. Silver Dollar City new coaster 2027. I feel like this has gone very under the radar, but there are footers actively being poured at Silver Dollar City right now for a new attraction, and it looks like a pretty substantial attraction. I don't know if it's a 2026 or 2027 attraction, and I don't know what it is, but it's very intriguing, that's for sure. And it looks like it's going to be a coaster, which is great because they do need a new coaster. They haven't gotten one since Time Traveler. What was that? 7 years ago?
Underrated.
Well, actually, Fire in the Hole technically counts as a coaster.
Oh, that's garbage.
What, the new one?
Yes,
I
absolutely.
love the new one. Was awesome.
It was so stupid.
You just don't like dark rides.
I like dark rides. I don't like that. I thought it was dumb.
Wow. You don't like the theme song?
That's fine.
Fire in the mountain, fire in the hole. Let's see. Oh man, there's a lot of interesting ones. Next year I plan to visit CGA, over Texas, Silver Dollar City, and Kennywood for the first time. Any tips? Well,
Don't do it in one trip. That's
yeah,
kind
don't
of,
do that in
all over
one
the
trip.
place.
I would recommend trying to string parks together that are near each other. Like if you typically when you see like enthusiasts go and do a big trip, it's going to be parks strung together on a road trip. I mean, yes, you can fly in for however like a day or whatever and go to a park and leave, but I think that's far more inefficient than just doing a road trip if you have the means to do so.
I mean, all those are easy to get to other parks other than Silver Dollar City. That one you're driving.
Yeah, Silver Dollar City is kind of in the middle of nowhere, but Kennywood, you're not far from Kings Island, you're not far from Cedar Point, Waldemere, Hershey Park. There's a lot of parks not too far away there. And then CGA, you got Discovery Kingdom right there. Over Texas, you have Frontier City this way and Fiesta that way.
And you have
Velocicoaster.
Santa Cruz as well.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of parks you could string together there.
Oh, you can go all the way up and down the West Coast.
You could. I mean,
Yeah.
it's quite the drive, as we learned, but
It was
you can
easy
do
though.
it.
We didn't hit much traffic at all, and it was a nice, easy, straight drive for the most part.
Yeah.
The 101. That's it.
Yeah. Colin, after the supposed tower coaster, what do you think Great Adventure's next coaster will be? Well, they'll probably have to replace whatever coaster they rip out next. But if they don't rip out another coaster, I would. This is just me talking like what I really want to see. I think that there should be another coaster put on that side of the park, specifically either in Kaz's old plot or Lantern's old plot. Unfortunately, Lantern's plot will probably just become parking because they're taking up more parking with the new coaster. But I think that whole area just desperately needs more. I think Toro needs a new neighbor really badly. Ever since Rolling Thunder was removed, that area felt really weird and just incomplete. And now with Ka gone and the new coaster going even further away from Toro, there's that much more space to put something else in there. And I've always been a believer that the safari should really be connected to the park through the Golden Kingdom, as opposed to the Frontier area. It makes no sense to connect it through a Wild West area when you have like the jungle right there. It just makes too much sense. But I think a Vekoma Tilt or a Vekoma multi-launch in general would be great. An Intamin Blitz would be great. We need more substantial thrill coasters, but then we also need more family coasters, because in terms of family coasters, all we have is Skull Mountain, Dark Knight, Harley Quinn. And that's about it, really. Everything else is a substantial thrill coaster. I do have to interrupt myself, though, because we do have a super chat. Thank you, Brian, for the super chat. With Christmas being next week, what is everyone's favorite Christmas movie and song?
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Yeah. Favorite Christmas movie? I mean, Elf is always a fun one. Polar Express is always fun.
I like Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Story.
Christmas Story, yep.
Christmas Story house is like 10 minutes from me.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool. As for the favorite song, there's so many.
I like
Christmas
So This
in
Is
Hollis.
Christmas.
Christmas in Hollis is good. Which one did you say, Bob?
I like So This Is Christmas.
I've always liked All I Want for Christmas Is You, but I know it's very cliche. I like the Bleachers Christmas song. That's a good one.
The Grinch.
Ah, the Grinch. Another super chat from F7. Thank you, F7. Thoughts on Superman getting a Supergirl overlay? It's not going to happen because Superman will probably not be called Superman for that much longer. If I had to take a wild guess, it's probably going to be rethemed to fit in with the new boardwalk area. If I had to take a wild guess, I think they're going to stray away from doing stuff like that with DC, because it seemed like Cedar Fair was trying to move away from that. So I hope they do stay away from it, because they just don't do a good job with the DC theming. I mean, you look at Flash. Flash on paper could have been like super well themed, but then all the stuff with the merger happened, and that's how the theming fell apart. And that's why it's just essentially a big box for the queue.
Yeah, that pre-show room is so sad.
I know.
With
There
like
could have been
random
so much.
beeping.
Yeah. So if they do more DC stuff, I hope it's better themed. That's for sure.
I hope they keep all the DC stuff in one area of the park, not all over the place.
Yeah. Which they did consolidate them fairly well. The only ones that are outliers now is Superman and the Villains coasters. Otherwise, everything's contained to that one area, which is nice. Are there any older coasters you wish more people appreciated? I'll leave this to the older people here, because you guys can probably think of them faster than me.
Viper at Magic Mountain is not bad.
I always laugh at that one because like it's not bad, but God,
I think it's great.
You come off that ride with CTE.
Oh no, yeah, no, you have to ride near the front. I mean, that's for sure. I mean, I like. There's a lot of old coasters I like, but I don't think they're underappreciated.
There's not
I'll
one
give
that
you
really
an
jumps.
opposite answer. One I think that's like overappreciated, and I love it, but like, I mean, it's like if I was in my 20s, I'd get on it and be like, "Huh, thanks, appreciate it." The Beast.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Especially now, I feel it's too smooth. It's kind of lost that out of control feeling, which I understand they got to do it for the sake of the ride lasting. But the
I
trim,
think once you realize it doesn't
you
really do much. Like, I mean, the drop and the first turn are great, and then after that, it's really boring until you hit the helix at the end, and then the helix is great, but that's about it. Like everything in between is just like, yeah, and the trims just kill it now.
Yeah, 100%.
But there's a lot of like older coasters that I think I love American Eagle.
Yeah.
I think that's very underappreciated. Oh crap! My camera's gonna die. I gotta switch to the other shit camera.
Super duper looper.
I guess it depends
Scooter
on
Looper's fun. It's nothing
what
like
you
amazing.
consider an old coaster. How
Oh,
old?
F7 just said a good one. Great Adventures Mine Train is underappreciated. That
Absolutely.
is very true.
No, switch to that
Love
one.
that.
I look really
Oh,
There
fat
you
now.
go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think the number one for this one for me is Great Adventures Mine Train.
Yeah. I'm
Bob,
with you.
whenever you're back out here, I gotta put you in the right seat for the Mine Train. Then you'll understand.
All right.
A fun one, Gemini.
Yes, I love Gemini.
When it's
Gemini
running.
is like a fun ride.
It's a classic. I mean, you can never come off
Yeah.
that ride and not be happy, unless you get stuck on the lift hill like Bob and I did. But
Oh yeah, for like
If
a
you
half hour.
guys ever make it out to Asia, you have to hunt down while they're still operational a Togo Ultra Twister.
yeah, those look like something.
They're the jankiest thing you're ever going to get on, but you're going to laugh. You're going to laugh until you cry. Airtime Mike got on it with me, and he looked at it. He's like, "Dude, there's no way this is going to be fun." And I sat next to him, and he giggled the whole time. Like a Togo Heartline. If anyone's been on the Ultra Twister, you know what I'm talking about. They're just giggle rides.
Now
I was trying to think about the other day about like any coasters where I felt like we were gonna die on, and the only one that I could think of was that what's it, Hurricane at Fun Spot. We rode that, and we were like, "This
Oh,
is
yeah.
the most dangerous thing I've ever been on in my life."
Terrifying. Very soon, I will be putting the line in the chat for no more questions. And I say that now because I'm only at 9 o'clock in the stream chat, and it's currently 9:45. So that's 45 minutes worth of questions. So at 9:47, I will put the line in the chat. I'll give you guys a couple minutes. Or now it's 9:46. 9:48, I'll put the line in the chat. So get your stuff in there now, and then we will be finishing out the chat with all of your questions. And of course, super chats still get jumped up to the top priority. Are you going to be at Six Flags on opening day 2026? Well, which Six Flags are you talking about? If you're talking about Great Adventure, yes, I will definitely be there, but not any other Six Flags parks. Well, we'll see. Let's see. Heading to Dollywood for my very first time next year, along with some other parks, possibly. Any tips? Just plan accordingly, I guess.
Don't forget to get the cinnamon bread.
Yeah, make sure you get cinnamon bread.
If you're, my opinion is, if you're there at opening, go left up the hill and go to Thunderhead, and then Fire Chaser and all those rides first. Like Lightning Rod, obviously you want to ride, but like Fire Chaser gets a stupid line.
Yes.
And
Start with the family coasters,
and you could hit all that stuff up there right next to each other very fast. That and the stupid
Mystery Mine.
Yeah, I could not think of the name. If it's running, who the hell knows? Yeah, and you could hit all those really fast and then circle back around to Lightning Rod later. Because Lightning Rod's very weird where it'll be like packed and then all of a sudden there'll be no line.
That is true. I've seen it like that. I almost never go right when I go to Dollywood immediately. I always go left.
Well, it's a massive walk if you go to the right, other than Lightning Rod. There's nothing there.
Exactly. It's all spread out over there. Let's see. Did you see they might shut down Jackson Adventure? You mean Adventure Crossing? And yes, I saw the article. In fact, there's a video coming out about it tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. That is tomorrow's video. Let's see. Which coaster is the best first drop in your opinion?
I love that Time Traveler back row drop is insanity. So is Raging Bull in the back row.
Yes, that is true.
Those are my two favorites, probably.
Well, Toro is always a top contender.
Toro has to be it.
Sky Rush is up there. Sky Rush's drop is ridiculous.
X2 Edgenica.
X2's drop is good, but it doesn't blow my mind the way it does for a lot of other people. I don't know.
Yeah, Edgenica is smoother. I love that drop. I just like
that's my number one bucket list coaster. So
Iron Rattler also has an incredible first drop. That's one of the best RMC drops right there. Let's see. Lots of repeat questions in here. Do you think we'll start seeing more Gerstlauer coasters come to North America soon? I mean, it's always been like a slow trickle of them. Like they pop up every now and then. They're very much so more
And
primarily
every one of them gives your dad a migraine.
I know, but that is my problem with them. A lot of the thrill ones, they tend to get rough, like really rough. So if maybe they don't get like that, then I'd love to see more of them. But until then, I'd rather see some nice Vekomas, nice and smooth. When's the last time you talked to Bacon Chris? Yesterday, actually. He's doing well.
What?
He's doing well.
Isn't Palindrome?
Yes, Palindrome was supposed to open, 3-4 years ago?
Yeah, but it's about to open. That'll be a Gerstlauer.
That is true.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting one. What do you see of the state of RMC in the next 10 years?
Ooh.
This is something I've thought a lot about because I feel like they've kind of done all of the Iron Horse treatments they can at this point.
So I went on the tour of the factory, which was the most low-key thing ever. It was literally her just walking me around talking about some stuff. But I asked her about that, and I said, we were talking about various things, and she said, well, first off, she said that what did they buy? They bought Chance or whatever, right?
Larson.
Texas. Larson. She said they do like gangbusters down there. They make like tons of money off of the flat rides and all that. She said, but the part of the reason they came up with the kiddie coaster concept or family coaster, whatever it is, was because they haven't been selling very much of the big stuff. And granted, COVID obviously caused a lot of the issues and whatnot. But I said to her, do you guys like call some of these parks with these big old woodies and ask them, hey, are you interested? She said, not really. She said, usually they all come to us. But you're right. I mean, if you look at what's out there right now, other than like, Predator, which isn't going to do it because they just put all that Titan track on it. And the Boss is obviously the clear-cut winner of that sweepstakes if they ever decided to do it. But there's not much out there left.
And it's like, how many Raptors are they really going to sell? Because the Raptor has not been, like, it's sold. There's been a few. They in fact, they just sold another one to Family Kingdom. But I feel like they're not really in the position of a company like, say, B&M or Vekoma, where there's so many different things they can sell to parks and so many different things that are still in demand too. That's the thing. Right. I am curious about the future of them. I'm not saying they're going to shut down because Larson will keep them afloat, and I'm sure they'll keep doing 208 retracts. But in terms of new coasters, it's definitely not going to be too many.
Airy Force, they could do more. I mean, that thing's.
But Airy Force, that's a $15 to $20 million coaster right there.
Yeah, I think that would be
spend that.
A great replacement for Lightning. Like, I think if we want to put something.
Lightning what?
I'm drawing a blank right now.
Rod?
No.
Racer?
Great Adventure. Come on.
Oops.
Rolling Thunder. I said Lightning. Jeez.
Oh.
No, I was thinking Lightning Racer, and I meant to say Rolling Thunder. Sorry, I had a day on the mountain today.
You're good.
Yeah, like a Rolling Thunder replacement. They would be like my dream Rolling Thunder replacement. Like let them.
I wonder how similar it would be to El Toro, though. That's my only thing.
Oh, it has to be inverted.
Yeah,
like it has to be as if they were RMCing it, like so Airy Force 1 style, ground up, but like a homage to Rolling Thunder.
Cool.
So they have to put, what you're saying is they'd have to put the word steel or iron before thunder in the name, since that's all they ever do.
Iron Thunder.
Iron Thunder. Come on, Colin. You got to go into your little video game and
make it up and plan a coaster. I could.
Yeah, you got to PC it.
Colin, do you prefer Magic Kingdom or Disneyland? I have not been to Disneyland, so I can't answer this.
I love Disneyland. It was so great.
I have heard that Disneyland is a lot better.
Yeah.
Colin, would you have preferred to have Looney Tunes Land or the Toon Lagoon we have today? Probably Looney Tunes Land, because I don't know like any of the characters in Toon Lagoon.
And the fact that it's still Toon Lagoon is still there is amazing to me.
I know, but that's because they have two of the best water rides in the world. I mean, Dudley Do and Popeyes are incredible, regardless of the theme. But it would have been better as Looney Tunes. Let's see. Is that the real Darius? Yes, that is the real Darius.
Why wouldn't it be the real Darius?
It's not the lookalike we use.
Model of him, actually. We made it for the stream. Let's see. Darius, any sneaker pickups this month? The Gammas and Black Cats flew off shelves.
Yeah, I got the Gammas. I picked up another pair of the Jordan 3. God, I forgot what they're called. But yeah, I did get the Gammas. I wanted them in a 14. I wound up getting them in a 13. So I'll be like this when I wear them. But I do have a pair.
Very nice. Do you prefer the original Dragster or Top Thrill 2? Top Thrill 2.
What?
But I like Ka better than Top Thrill 2.
The original Dragster launch obviously was amazing, but the ride experience, I love Top Thrill 2 better.
Yeah.
So disappointed in you guys. You guys have never had original Coke, I guess. I
see what you're saying.
I know what you like, Colin. You like soda out of those
like Pepsi.
printing machines. You like freestyle? Do you like freestyle Coke or do you like regular Coke, Colin?
Regular Coke. I do not like freestyle Coke.
See, that's how I feel about Dragster 2. Top Thrill 2.
That's an interesting comparison.
It's like new Coke.
Huh. Interesting. What
less
theme park
filling, less thrilling
in Japan? Well, I think
Disney Sea or Fuji Q.
And Nagashima. And Universal Japan. Those are the 4.
Flying Dino. Flying Dino. I can't have the debate with you guys until you're all on it. Like, Flying Dino's the best flying coaster. It might be one of the best coasters, period.
It looks
Flying
nuts.
Dino is crazy.
Darius, I see in the chat, people are responding to your statement on Dragster being better than Top Thrill 2. And they're like, what? Is he high? And then one person says, he was on the mountain, so yes.
I just hate that ride, man. That launch is like...
Yes, it is a weak launch, but...
That's the whole reason to get on that ride.
Disappointing.
What did you say, Ken?
The first launch is it's disappointing.
The first launch is terrible.
But the second and third launch, it's like, holy hell.
Yeah.
The whole reason I get on that ride is because I want to feel like I got shot out of a cannon. And I was like, wee. It's like a kiddie ride, the first launch.
It's like a Disney ride.
That is true. It has weaker acceleration than Test Track.
You said it, not me.
Colin, do you plan to go to Thorpe Park? Eventually, yes. I would like to go to Thorpe. Seems like a cool park. I know Darius has been there, along with like every other theme park in the world.
Hey, I had the best hit rate on a TikTok video with my my first person of what do you call it? Of Hyperia. Yeah.
Let's see. What's your opinion on the Simpsons ride, Colin?
I've never had a ride that's made me feel more nauseous than that.
It is very nauseating. I don't know that my dad could ride it.
The syncing is so off on it. It's ridiculous.
It was better when it was BTTF.
Yeah, I would think it probably was.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be upset if they got rid of the whole area, though, and replaced it with something else, because I don't really care for Simpsons. I know people are going to hate me for that, but
the ET ride smells like someone's damp basement.
I always get sick on Gringotts. Gringotts.
Really?
Yeah.
I like Gringotts a lot. Let's see. Talking about shadeless entrance plazas, Epic Universe is one to note. Yes, but it's better than Animal Kingdoms. Animal Kingdoms is wider, and there's nothing. Epic Universe at least has a little bit. But Animal Kingdom is brutal.
I was listening to you guys, but I was like throwing on a t-shirt and stuff. And what I think is interesting about Animal Kingdom is it's a kid park where they sprinkled in some adventure. And so I don't know that they're ever gonna like reverse that and put more like, I don't think it's ever gonna be the thrill park, right? Like
right.
That's like where you take the 2 and 3 and 4-year-olds, like 7 years old and under. That park is a hit. You get to see giraffes and zebras and lions, and then you get to go into a land that's space themed but still fits in. Like, I don't know. I don't think they're ever gonna throw that park out. I mean, I love the Expedition Everest, but I felt like that was like put there for some variety. I don't think it'll ever flip the opposite way.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Could you see Lagoon getting the first SNS rail rider since the SNS HQ is nearby?
Good point. Yeah, I could see that.
I could see it. It's an interesting ride. I will say, after sitting in it and at IAPA, crazy comfortable. And I'm not saying that just because they let me sit in it. It is genuinely really comfortable. Like when you sit on Jersey Devil or the other Raptors and you have that like feeling where your legs are like this, not like that at all on the Rail Rider. You straddle it perfectly. It's so comfortable.
But Lagoon usually builds their own rides.
Or they contract art.
Yeah.
So who knows? That's a tricky one. Any word on concession/food upgrades for Great Adventure next year? I know that I think it's in Hurricane Harbor, Paradise Pizza. I could be wrong. I think that's getting upgrades. And I'd imagine a lot of the stuff on the boardwalk is going to get upgrades as well. But other than that, I haven't heard anything specific.
We're getting brisket.
Well, we did for like a day when Best of the West was open.
That wasn't brisket.
Wow. Do you see Gemini at Cedar Point getting removed soon?
Not unless they have a replacement already in mind. They're not going to take out a classic.
Yes, exactly. But I wouldn't rule it out.
Yeah, I think that's the next contestant on the prizes, right?
I think it is too, only because of how many problems it has had in the last few years, and it's always down. But unless they need the land, I still think the next thing, whatever they build, is going to be something on Millennium Island. So we'll see. But if they went out and like did, I keep saying that like that Mystic Timbers racing coaster concept, or not Mystic Timbers, that GCI rather racing coaster concept on Millennium Island, then you have your racing coaster still, and then you could justify getting rid of it.
That's true. Gemini also just takes up so much space.
It does.
It's a big plot. Hot take: Golden Kingdom will be demolished completely. No king, no kingdom. Well, they're not going to bother touching it if they're not going to develop it. They're just going to leave it there, just like what they did to Old Country. Because there's no sense in paying all that money to demo
flatten it out
when you have no idea what you're going to do with it. So they're just going to leave it for now until they decide what they're going to do with it. But it is possible.
Taking down all those buildings. All those buildings are still there.
Yeah, the only stuff that was removed was stuff directly associated with COD and Zumajaro. Otherwise, everything else stayed. Let's see. What are your thoughts on what they do over by where the stadium was? I think with Medusa's age, they may want to get something new back there to draw in crowds to that part of the park. I am curious about the future of Medusa because I feel like it could go either way with staying or going. It's a good ride, but like you said, it's kind of dated. It's not like the biggest draw per se. And since it is in the furthest corner of the park, I believe that actually is the furthest coaster from the front entrance. They need something else back there. And originally the plan was to get rid of the arena and put a big coaster there for the 50th. Obviously that all got jumbled around. But I think if there was another big coaster next to Medusa, that could carry the whole area and bring Medusa up with it. But then there's also the question of Medusa's age and how much longer it'll really last. I mean, Batman is still going strong, and that's a good, 6 years older than Medusa. So, yeah. I mean, who knows? It really just depends on what they want to do. But Medusa's always been in a very weird area of the park. Let's see. That's a good question for Bob. Do you think I would be able to bring interchangeable lens camera to Six Flags or Cedar Fair parks?
Yeah, I mean, there's very few parks that have ever stopped me, especially now. Before the merger and stuff, there were a few of the Six Flags parks are like huge pricks about it. Fiesta notably was for years. Over Georgia is hit or miss on it. But for the most part, most of them will let you bring it in. I mean, I used to bring in my 150 600 or my 200 600, which are like massively long, and they never would say a word. So, most parks are fine. And if you're ever worry about it, just ask them. Literally, just email them and ask them, and most of the time they're going to tell you it's fine.
I know Bob. I've seen Bob have the issues before, and it's not something that's fun to deal with. That's for sure.
It's not. Yeah, it's so few and far between, though. I mean, I've been doing it for 10 years now, and most of the parks are very cool about it.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you're just doing good promotion for them. So.
Yeah, the only ones I know that don't allow cameras like at all, like I think it's Rye Playland doesn't, right? And then what was it? Lakeside in Colorado definitely doesn't. Those are the two I know don't, but pretty much everybody else is cool about it.
Okay. What parks should I hit to make the most of my all park passport? I mean, really as many as you can, but I'd go for the top tier ones, which most of them are on this side of the country. I mean, Cedar Point, Kings Island, Kings Dominion, Great Adventure, New England, Georgia, Carowinds.
Over Georgia, yeah.
I'm going to give opposite opinion. I'm going to say hit the ones you think are going to close.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's true too.
Or the
I'm
ones
gonna
that won't
say-
be in the Six Flags chain after this year, you
Yeah.
think?
Like I think hit CGA.
Yeah.
I think if you've not been to New England or any of those parks, I think there's question marks. And then hit the bigger parks that are near them. But I would, if you think a park will not be in the chain or you think that it will close, I would hit that this season. The season is the beginning of Coaster Geddon.
Coaster Geddon. Favorite Hollywood ice cream flavor? I would probably have to go to cookies and cream, although coffee and mint chocolate chip are runners up.
Coffee.
You like coffee, Darius?
Yeah. Coffee milkshakes like my favorite.
Bob, what about you?
I love cookie dough. I love anything with like chocolate peanut butter in it too.
Ken?
I like that chocolate chili I got at Harry Potter Land.
Oh, that's right. Butterbeer. Butterbeer ice cream is so
Oh, I haven't had it
good.
yet, but I love the butterbeer, so I'm sure I'll love that.
So good. That's one of my favorites. What's the best trip you've ever taken in the time you've been a coaster enthusiast? That is a really hard question to answer. One that's coming up soon that you'll find out about soon could take the cake. But in terms of things I've already been on, my 2020 trip to Texas is definitely up there. That was one of my favorites. God, there's so many trips I've done. It's kind of hard to pick. The California one was great. It was just too long. We really stretched ourselves thin towards the end. I don't know. It's really hard to pick because there's just been so many. But the 2020 Texas one always stands out as one that I really enjoyed. What about you guys? Do you have any favorite trips you've ever done?
I went to CoasterCon in 2019, so that was I flew into Burbank, and then I went to like Santa Monica Pier. I went to Magic Mountain for the event, and then I flew up to Northern California, went to the parks up there. That was one of my favorites for sure. Then I really liked when we did all the boardwalk parks and Coney Island and stuff like that. That was a really
that
cool
was
trip.
good.
It was only a couple days, but it was pretty fun. And then the Texas one, I didn't go with you guys to Texas, but that's when I met up with you guys at Silver Dollar City, and we had a blast, even though we had to wear masks and everything because it was coming out of COVID. But
yeah, I did enjoy my 2024 Texas trip a lot. That was really good.
Yeah. I think one of the best trips that I've taken in recent times, this year I did two that were really fun. The Japan trip is extremely fun. And what I would tell anyone is if you are saving up money to go to like Disney World, you can afford to go to Japan. Like what you're going to pay in like park entry fees, you're going to pay in airfare. You can get tip to tail on the island via the Shinkansen, which is the bullet train. But we hit Universal, Nagashima Spa Land, Fuji Q, Disney Sea, Disney, and like did one-off coasters here and there, like Thunder Dolphin, in like a matter of days. That was an awesome trip. And then if you can make it out to the UK, like Thorpe Park, Alton Towers, and take the Channel train over to France and do like Parc Astérix, as well as Euro Disney. Those are all like fun trips. They're low stress. You use public transportation for the most part, and genuinely great coasters, fun trips.
What about you, Ken?
They're all fun. They're all the best.
That is one way to put it. Oh, actually, my IAPA trip last year was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed that trip. That was really good. We had a good group, good itinerary. That was very good.
That IAPA trip is always a very...
Oh, it's always a blast. There's always so much going on. Let's see. Do you think Great Adventure will have a successful 2026 with attendance? I think that honestly hinges a lot on this coaster opening. If people don't see any addition after what happened, I don't know that they're really going to show up. And the marketing really needs to be better. The marketing in 2025 was almost non-existent. So that definitely didn't help things either, on top of the bad publicity they had with Ka. So, I mean, believe me, I'm hoping for the best. All I want to see is the park succeed at the end of the day. And sometimes you do have to point out the harsh criticisms that need to be pointed out for that to happen. So let's hope they fix what's wrong. Best coaster in the world right now? That's so subjective. I mean, I think you can make an argument for a good 20 or 30 coasters. Really, it depends on your tastes. I mean, I could tell you Stardust, I could tell you Airy Force, Iron Gwazi, Velocicoaster, and they all could be right. So picking one, having not ridden everything, is too difficult. Even with the ones I've ridden, it's too difficult. BGW or KD? I go King's Dominion,
I like KD better too.
KD.
King's Dominion.
which I wouldn't have always said, but BGW just doesn't have the same feeling it used to for me anymore. I mean, they've gotten more stuff, but I feel like the experience as a whole doesn't, like, it was almost Disney level.
I always feel crowded there. Like even when the park's not crowded, I feel like very claustrophobic at BGW.
Yeah, I feel that.
It's the paths.
The pads are weird.
Yeah.
All right, we have 2 more questions, and then we'll call it. First one, we'll start with this one. Yeah. What's your favorite ride you've ever been on, not including defunct rides? I'm going to take this as not coasters and just rides, so like dark rides, because we've already talked about our favorite coasters at length. My favorite dark ride, it's like a tie almost between Rise of the Resistance and Monsters Unchained. And I'd also throw Spider-Man in the mix too. All are phenomenal. And Battle of the Ministry is also really great.
Not including defunct ride.
Toxicator at Thorpe Park. Or not Thorpe Park, at Alton Towers.
Okay.
Darius, did you get to go to Hard Rock Park when it was open with that Knights of White Satin ride?
Yes.
Everybody said that was absolutely incredible.
I'm so jealous. I am so jealous.
Ryan always goes on and on about that ride.
But Toxicator, so what are those called? The Twizzler or the Twister
Oh, the
ride?
top. Oh my God, why am I forgetting? Huss Topspin.
Yeah. I have never been on one as unhinged as Toxicator at Alton Towers.
And that's brand new, right?
Unhinged. It is elevated on a platform where, like, there's then water spouts and all types of stuff. And the flip sequences it does, like, it takes advantage of everything one of those rides can do. And I was never like a fan of one. When I got on it, I was like, okay, I got to get right back on.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Falcon's Fury.
That's a very good pick.
Oh man, we had Chris
yeah.
pooping his pants on that.
Yeah, that's a good ride.
I love Forbidden Journey. I haven't been on Rise of the Resistance yet. I've been on Epic yet, so I'm sure.
I will tell you this, Bob. When I first rode it with you, my first time at Universal, that was easily my favorite dark ride. But when I came back and rode it again last year and this year, it has dropped substantially for me. And I don't know if that's just because, like, I remembered it differently or I've ridden more.
It's
but
definitely
like,
gotten more like
it makes me sick a little bit.
Disoriented getting off of it. Yeah, they definitely need to like refurb the screens and things and the syncing of it and whatnot. But
yeah,
just
after
the idea of it in general, and if you actually go through the normal queue and get to see everything, it's so well
it's
done.
incredible.
And,
yeah.
But I'm sure I'm gonna like the new stuff even better than that.
Well, if you love Forbidden Journey, Monsters Unchained is gonna knock your socks off. It's so good. Yeah, I'm sorry, Ken. I got to rub it in a little bit more.
Yeah, higher res screen.
Plus, all the animatronics are unreal. But Battle of the Ministry, you might like more because of your preference for Harry Potter. Battle of the Ministry is incredible. And then I'm also, like I said, I'm a sucker for Spider-Man. Love Spider-Man.
It's not 2 hours wait.
No.
Phenomenon.
No ride is like that for me.
No. I mean, the fact that they can support like a 9-hour queue, like, or I might be exaggerating, but like I know 6 hours, like that's crazy. I would never wait in line for that thing.
If you're waiting that long, you got to adjust your priorities.
Yeah.
And then the final question of the stream, I have a feeling we're all probably going to have a similar answer. Favorite water park? For me, that is easily Volcano Bay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even close.
Yeah.
Holiday Worlds is great, but Volcano Bay craps on everything I've been to.
Ken, I think I know what yours is.
At America Dream.
Yep, DreamWorks.
DreamWorks.
I will probably be
not
going
been
there soon. I've never been, though, and I'm very intrigued by it.
You will get your exercise.
Oh, I'm sure.
I got a announcement to make. I'm coming out to Jersey on the 23rd and leaving on Christmas. So
Really?
yeah.
Okay. That's good to know. have to make some plans.
Yes.
But I am planning on ending the stream now as we have reached the end of our questions. I want to thank you all in the chat for sending in your questions. Always enjoy doing this. And thank the three of you for coming on and answering some. I'll let you guys all plug your channels now. We'll start with Bob, Darius, and then Ken.
At BK Photo Page, mostly on Instagram, but also on Facebook and X.
And Great Ohio Coaster Club.
Oh, yeah, and Great Ohio Coaster Club as well.
Oh, yeah.
Come join us.
Darius
at Coaster Jones, or if you're really interested in what's going on in my life, at I'm_nerdy_by_nature. I'm nerdy by nature.
So many underscores.
And it's Ken, and I will leave a winter fun event to do. And Franklin Institute in Philadelphia is having a show coming up in February. And it is going to be on all the theme parks, the Universal theme parks.
With a pilot on Epic, too.
Yep. So if you're looking for something to do when it's cold out and you can't go to a theme park, it might be something to check out. And you can go to Lincoln Mill if you time it right.
Either the Valentine's Day event or the St. Patrick's Day event.
Hey, Ken, given you're in rocketry, do you do the annual, like, I don't know if Jersey does it. In Texas, we have a shoot down Santa Claus. Do you guys do like a Christmas launch?
There's a Christmas tree launch down in Delaware every year.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, Texas, we have a Kill Santa launch.
Oh my God.
Sorry, kids. Santa's real. They're just sending warning shots. Yeah, sending warning shots.
Well, everyone, thank you all for joining the stream. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for that Planet Coaster competition coming up on the Discord server and plenty of other videos coming soon here to Hollywood Studios. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.